game as to who we are will be next week. You're going to have to come back from this game, and you're going to have to play a top 25 team in Virginia. And you're going to have to dig down deep to beat that team. But if we come back knowing who we are, that we can beat anybody that we play, and I mean anybody, then you should come energized, ready to get after Virginia at home.
Intercepted, Kyle Hamilton. 20, 10, 5, Hook keeps it himself. Touchdown, Chase Claypool. What a hit. Owusu, Koromoa.
Third ever meeting, first in South Bend, between 4-0 Virginia, ranked 18th, and 2-1 Notre Dame. When you looked at the schedule, you said, what, Michigan, Georgia, USC, perhaps one of the teams at the end of the schedule would have a good ACC run. Few people thought Virginia would be a significant test, but the Cavaliers were picked to win their half of the ACC. It's the first of 3 straight home games for the Irish. 6 of the next 8 are here in Notre Dame Stadium. Brian Kelly from right after the Georgia game. Focus on today. As the players make their way from the locker room and are set to take the field. Here come the Irish. This is game 350 as a college football head coach of Brian Kelly. His team has left the field a winner 254 times. Ian Book took over the Irish as the full-time starter a year ago. Game 4 at Wake Forest. As another ACC opponent calls today, Virginia, they beat Pitt and William & Mary and Florida State. They had a rally to beat Old Dominion last week. Trying to start 5-0 for the first time since 2004. Bryce Perkins, the quarterback, the unquestioned leader and the player to stop on this Virginia offense. What they do well on the defensive side of the ball. All right, down to the field on this cloudy Saturday. Here's Catherine Tappan with Brian Kelly.
Coach, you've made it clear that you are sick of hearing people congratulate you on a tough loss to Georgia last week. How have you used that message to motivate your team?
Well, I mean, you gotta move on from last week, and I guess more than anything else, we've got a really good opponent in front of us, and our focus needs to be on Virginia. This is a well-coached team. Bronco does a great job, and so our focus needs to be on playing this game, and we've got to play better than last week. So, turn the page, talk about Virginia, and what we need to do to win a football game against a top 20 team.
Yeah, you've said that this game today will define the Irish's season going forward. So what do you want to see from your team today?
I want to play with much more detail. We got to coach better. We got to play better as a team. And certainly against a team like this, you've got to find big plays. You know, that is important for us. Find a running game. We haven't had an effective running game, but more importantly, do the things we've done. Play fast, play physical. Much more attention to detail.
Coach, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Mike?
All right, Tap, thank you. With Doug Flutie, Heisman Trophy winner. Let's unpack a little bit of what Brian Kelly said there, and let's go back to the time you've spent on this Notre Dame package, which pretty much parallels Brian Kelly's time. Do you like the message he picked on this week as the motivational message?
No doubt about it. This is Notre Dame. They expect to be in the national championship hunt. They expected to go to Georgia and win. There are no moral victories. So he had to turn the page right away because that can be a hangover for a couple of days. When it's an emotional, disappointing loss like that, he got the page turned right away, the focus on Virginia, who is a good football team.
You heard him just mention it with Catherine. We've talked about it through a quarter of the season. There's one spot on the offense that needs to be better if they want to get back to the playoffs.
No doubt about it. They need a physical run game. Since day one, short yardage, they've been stuffed. They have no physical run game. They need to get in 2 tight ends, pound the football a little bit, take some pressure off Ian Book, which allows him to go to some play action passes, maybe make some big plays down the field.
My partner's the all-time dual threat quarterback. You see him all the time in college football. Why is Bryce Perkins, Virginia's dual threat quarterback, so unique?
He is such a dynamic athlete. Bronco Mendenhall said he's the best athlete on the team, and the guys believe in him. He has a tendency or a knack to make plays when they need it. Now, he's a pure runner with the football, As a passer, it's not real pure, but he gets it done. 64%, gets the ball distributed, makes some big plays when they need it most.
You've mentioned him a couple of times, and we have. Bronco Mendenhall, 53 years old, 11 years at BYU, very successful. He wanted to challenge, wanted to rebuild the program. Virginia was down in all aspects of its football program. This is year 4 of the rebuild. This is the biggest game they've played along the way. He has him in position on this Saturday under the Golden Dome in South Bend, Notre Dame and Virginia. Notre Dame won the toss and defers. It'll be Virginia ball as Jonathan Dorr kicks it. And Joe Reed, a great return man, has it at the 6. Reed looking to pick up a block on the edge. He does. Up the hash and hit hard at the 30-yard line by Alfred Morale. That's where Virginia will take over. Bryce Perkins brings him out. Here's the Jeep starting lineups. To help Perkins, the sophomore, Wayne Kalapapa, is in the same town as Notre Dame safety Alohi Gilman in Hawaii. Here's Reed, not just a good return man, but he's their leading receiver. Injuries up front last week. But Victor Oluwatimi is back after playing his 5 plays last week with a thumb injury. They said Victor is okay to use as his first name, so we will. Drive starts officially from the 31, and Perkins to work, looks to run, and they're waiting for it. Doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage. Drew White on the tackle. He had a very good game between the hedges last week.
Perkins is very good at getting the ball out quickly. There was a quick pass call, and when it doesn't happen right away, he's looking to take off and run up the middle somewhere. Happened on the first play.
You see Perkins' numbers. He was originally recruited to Arizona State, had a serious neck injury before he played there, made a stop in junior college. This is second year of the Cavs. He's pressured, but throws it complete. Hassis Dubois, his receiver, takes it near midfield. He'll be brought down to the 49-yard line, the first down for Dubois, his 17th catch on the season.
Hits the slant route coming from the left. There's a nice little alley right there. Set your feet, come back. He actually went front side first. Nice job of going front to back side, finding the window. And he's very good at that quick passing game.
Not a ton of stuff downfield. When they take downfield shots, look for number 9, Jarrell Chapman, as their big play threat. Perkins also leads them in carries. He hands here to Taulapapa, who is stopped by Kirk Heinisch, the defensive tackle for the Irish, and again, Drew White in there as well. Let's check that Notre Dame defense. You know, a lot of attention to the preseason. Julian Aquara, his production's been down. Just 3 tackles in 3 games. Drew White, Jeremiah Usu-Karamoa had their best games last week in Athens. The captain, Jalen Elliott, special game for him. He's a standout high school quarterback in Richmond, Virginia, playing against his home state team in that good Irish secondary. Twice on first down, Virginia has lost a yard. It's 2nd and 11. Out of the pistol, it'll be a quick pass, and it's complete to Joe Reed, who is shifty and off to the races. Reed inside the 20, inside the 10. First and goal for the Cavaliers. Troy Pride saves the touchdown.
Boy, down the bottom of the screen, bottom receiver on a slant route. Aquara tries to sprint out under it, just misses getting there. Great timing on the throw to get it there in time. I mean, Aquara was sprinting for that spot. Perkins puts it right by him. Reed off and running. He is the big play guy. You have to find where he's lined up. The opening kickoff looked like he was going to go.
43 yards in the game. PK Kier is the back in the pistol. And he will take the handoff, run inside, and not go anywhere. Jacob Lacey, the freshman who is playing well. Starting to see more out of Lacey. Joins Usu-Karamoa on the tackle.
There's really no run game for Virginia. The primary run is when the quarterback picks off. Perkins finds a seam and goes. They will only run the ball to try to keep you honest. It's the quick passing game and the quarterback runs.
To your point, the first 3 first down plays have been 1-yard losses. But they've moved it on second down and they've spread it. And here they are, 2nd and goal, or 2nd and goal from the 11 this time. Dubois in motion. Perkins to throw. Quick and caught. Gain of 5 to the 6. Troy Pride with the tackle of Terrell Jana, 15 receptions. And here comes third down.
Khalid Kareem coming. Watch the push. He's just driving his man back to the quarterback, but the ball's out so quickly. Perkins is pretty good at getting the ball out on rhythm, on time, and he's not a pure thrower of the football.
Wakes up the Irish defense. They bring in Paul Moala, who's the backup rover. Two rovers on the field here. Down by the goal line. Virginia's brought in their backup running back, Lamont Atkins. Third and goal. Notre Dame rushes 5. Perkins tries to escape. He flips it to the end zone. Touchdown. Great job to keep his eyes up and find Joe Reed for his 4th touchdown reception of the year. A good kickoff return, a 43-yard gain, and a touchdown for Reed.
Watch Alohi Gilman eyeing Perkins, eyeing him. Okay, I'm going to come up to make the play. Secondary reacts up and leaves the receiver uncovered in the end. Little collision, little mix-up, drifts back. Just finding the guy, keeping your head up. When you start to scramble, you have to keep your eyes downfield. Perkins is a dynamic athlete with the ball.
And it was Moala, who I mentioned was on the field there, who got lost when that rub happened between the two receivers. And open was Reed for the touchdown. Brian Delaney adds the extra point. Opening drive, Perkins for a full 72 yards. He and Reed are the combo. They hook up for the touchdown. Virginia on the board first here in South Bend. Notre Dame football is brought to you by FanDuel. This season there's more ways to win on FanDuel. By the all-new 2020 Lincoln Aviator. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Around the country, around the world, folks watch Notre Dame football. Hashtag ND Roll Call. Send us your pictures. We'll put the best ones on the air during the season. Even those weddings that happened a couple of weeks ago here in South Bend. Terrific opening drive capped by Joe Reed, taking advantage of the Irish defensive confusion. And Ian Book and the Notre Dame offense will take the field down 7.
It's amazing when you know a guy's a playmaker and you still can't stop him from getting the ball. 2 big plays.
Brian Delaney to kick it. Lawrence Keys back to receive. And from 7 deep, he'll take a knee. And the Jeep starting lineups will bring Notre Dame's offense out behind Ian Book. Cole Kmet tied Notre Dame records, 9-catch season debut off the collarbone injury. Not starting, but Michael Young is going to return from a similar injury this week. Offensive line made some mistakes in the noise in Athens last Saturday night. We focused on Liam Eichenberg to clean up the 3-penalty performance a week ago. Irish starting big here with a couple of tight ends, a couple of wide receivers. And the running back, Tony Jones Jr. from their own 25. Empty out the backfield with Jones in motion. Book is flushed. He'll roll. Nobody on this side to throw it to. He gets out of bounds. That'll be a loss of 5. Zane Zandier escorts him to the sideline.
Well, he was moving his feet last week a lot and having to drift and avoid some pass rush. And right away, I mean, that was just a quick drop and trying to get rid of the ball. He gets pressure and scrambles away from pressure.
47 times. He was a part of those communications issues that caused some of the flags. This is what you and Brian Pilley talked about. Can Notre Dame run the ball with power? And Tony Jones Jr. gains just more than 5. Matt Gann, the tackle, it's 3rd and a long 9 coming up for the Irish.
But that's a positive. You know, straight ahead run play, 5 yards, get you back and down in distance. It's 3rd and 5. Now the entire pass game opens up, even slipping in a run if you have to.
There's Fink on the field for the Irish. Didn't start as they went with the size of Claypool and Javon McKinley and the 2 tight ends. Kmet in motion, gets lost in the middle of the formation. First look closed. Book waiting for something to clear. Going to launch it downfield for Claypool, but Claypool was covered. Throws underneath, and it's incomplete. Terrific pursuit by the Virginia defense to not give Book anywhere to go. 3 and out Notre Dame.
He might have had all day, but everything was in lockdown. People are trying to work to find open spaces, but now Ian Book is on the move.
Number 56.
An offside flag will give the Irish
Repeat 3rd down.
5 more yards. Apologies, I didn't see the flag. It was buried on the near sideline, obscured by the Notre Dame bench. It'll make it 3rd and 5, excuse me.
On the weak side there, we saw 34 Hall in coverage, and he's a lockdown guy as well. The two corners, Grant and Hall, really have closing speed to break on. They play off coverage a lot, but they put that foot in the ground and drive on the ball and are in tight coverage.
Break for the Irish, 3rd and 5. And Kmet, the tight end, once again in short motion. Pressure is picked up, pass is quick, and is caught in bounds for the first down by Kmet right in front of Devontae Cross. Very tight window that Book got it into. First down, Notre Dame.
What a tight throw and catch. Phenomenal. Great coverage by Cross. He just can't get to the ball. Ian puts it in the only place he can. Kmet comes up with the first down.
No huddle Irish from the 36, and it's the give to Jones up the middle for 3 yards to the 39-yard line. This Virginia defense giving up 18 points a game. Virginia was sleepwalking in the game against Old Dominion last week. This defense kept them in it and then turned it around with that play that they made late with Zane Zandier, an interception to get it going. Nick Howell is one of their 2 defensive coordinators. 2nd and 6, Book complete to Chase Claypool, who will be stopped 2 yards shy of the first down. Out at the 44-yard line, Nick Grant, who's the other corner, but still makes a lot of plays.
He might be the other corner, but he closes too. I mean, that's perfect timing, perfect throw, and he's right there. And they're playing off. Usually, especially in college football, if it's an off corner, you call it an easy access throw. Hit your back foot, it's gone. These guys close on the ball. Might set up for a double move late in the game.
It's all 11 Virginia players in your shot there. No deep safety for 3rd and 2. With Fink in motion, there's a whistle, and Notre Dame, which had plenty of false start issues last week in the noise, will have one here.
False start. Number 78. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
And it's on the senior right guard, Tommy Kramer.
It just sets you up to 3rd and 7 instead of 3rd and 2. Right guard. Did you see it?
Yeah, it may have been the wrong number when we looked at that.
Yeah, I think it was 74. I think it was a left guard.
I'm talking about all the penalties, most in Brian Kelly's decade. Many of them, the communication in the noise, something between a silent count and the hand clap to send the snap back. Back to the hand clap, you can hear it here. On 3rd down, the throw to the far side is complete. Where's the spot for Michael Young? It's right on the 46-yard line. That's a first down, first catch in the return for Young, the junior coming back from the broken left collarbone.
Again, a timing throw. This one way out to the wide side of the field, right at the first down marker. And again, Hall's closing fast, but to the wide side, you might play a little softer because the ball's in the air a long time.
First down to give inside for just a yard to Jones. Again, that play on the sideline, every play does get looked at by the replay booth if they so choose, but it's where the ball is when it crosses the sideline. So hard to overturn anything like that. Not much on the defensive front in terms of impact with the sacks, only 2.5. But of the 20 sacks, most have come from this group. Multiple sacks from each of those starting linebackers. And we highlighted Bryce Hall at the beginning. Preseason All-American. First down. Well, second down, I should say. In trouble. Rotates out. Room to run. He'll take off across midfield. And we'll go down at the 45-yard line. And be a yard and change shy of the first down.
This D-line likes to slant and moves, create pressure. The offensive line's doing a nice job of picking it up, but watch him slant and loop around. Good protection at first and picking it up. And once he rolled to the left, Kmet was all by himself down the field. This is about the time he starts to move, and now could have had a shot, but you see open grass in front of you, you run.
3rd and 1, it's a run here. It is Jones up inside for the first down to the 42-yard line. Notre Dame has been missing a big play from the running back position. Jameer Smith, who's checking in right now, he returns after a turf toe injury. The Irish remain without Jafar Armstrong. Their most electricity out of the backfield. Armstrong got injured on that opening drive at Louisville, but Smith is back after the turf toe injury. And from the 42, they fake to Smith. Book fires, complete, out across. It is Fink to the 15-yard line. Joey Blount, the tackle of the game, 27 for the senior, former walk-on, who's now an Irish captain.
You'll see Fink running from right to left, coming across the field. It's cleared out by Claypool on the left side of the field. Now you're working on safeties, chasing, and that's where you can get your big completions. The corners are tough. The safeties are the ones to attack.
First down for the Irish. Book out quick, complete to the 9-yard line. They'll mark Claypool, a gain of 5 on first down. Again, working on Nick Grant. They'll mark him officially at the 8. Be a gain of 6.
He and Book's being very efficient. I mean, these outside throws are not easy, and some of them have been very, very tight throws.
2 third-down completions, especially one to Komet after the penalty that would have had Virginia off the field after a 3-and-out. Second and 4, they give to Smith to the right. He'll be a yard short of the first down. Jordan Mack, senior out of Georgia, one of the pillars of this rebuilt program that won 2 games, and he's a freshman in on the tackle there.
Matt Ford, Snowden, number 11 are the 2 dynamic defensive players in the front 7.
3rd and 1. Irish have not been good in short yardage power running the ball. Can they control the line against Virginia? From the 5. Jones inside, squirts through, and Jones is in for a Notre Dame touchdown.
Just great second effort. Watch the slanting and moving of the defensive line. Creates a gap. You're one-on-one with the safety. Break that tackle and get in the end zone.
That's what Tony Jones Jr. gives. The senior from St. Petersburg, Florida, with the power run. Consistent, good blitz pickup for that inside run that you talked about in the open, Doug. Missing for this Notre Dame team. Evident there on the 6-yard score. Jonathan Dorr on for the extra point. He's made all 15 this season. Opening drive, Virginia, 7 plays and a touchdown. The Irish respond, 13 plays, 75 yards. Tony Jones score. Game of the day, starting that way. All even at 7 at Notre Dame Stadium. For the Notre Dame programs as a whole. As a matter of fact, we were here a couple of weeks ago. There was a thunderstorm in the area. Practice started in the stadium. They went right across the street. They were able to finish the practice. Dedication for that last night. Jonathan Dorr's kickoff is short. Reed's going to catch it to 6. A good opening kickoff return. This time tangled 20-yard line. Bo Bauer there on the stop. We bring in Terry McCauley, our rules analyst. Terry, we had an offside, a key offside on 3rd down on Virginia. Let's look at it and see your thoughts on this play.
Yeah, Mike, it's somewhat of a technical foul. The defensive end on the end of the line, just barely breaking the plane of the line of scrimmage. Generally, it's a warning. Maybe he'd warned him earlier, but we'd really rather not have that technical foul right off the bat.
But called. Notre Dame picked up the first down on the pass to Cole Komet. Remember, that was 3rd and long.
Terry, keep your defensive guys on side, all right?
First down from the 21-yard line for Virginia, and Perkins, who lofts one, and it is caught by Hassis Dubois to the 39-yard line, a gain of 18. You get the sense of that feel for the game.
What a feel.
Perkins has.
What a feel. He's drifting left. He feels the coverage collapse, and the guy slip behind. Dubois just slips behind them, and he just floats it over the top. I mean, I'm sure this gives all the coaches a heart attack when they see it happening, but he has a great knack for the game. He's a point guard distributing the ball.
And from the 38, Wayne Talapapa with the carry for about 2 yards. Chris Sims will be joining us from down on the sideline during the game. Chris, give me a sense of what you see schematically with this Virginia offense.
Well, the one thing with Perkins and the offense in general, they have a million ways to throw the ball short. And when you play zone defense like Notre Dame is right now, when he scrambles, he's manipulating the zone coverages. Notre Dame might have to dabble in some man every now and then just to take away some of these short throws.
And so often it's the guy in the slot, 2 down from the bottom, Joe Reed, number 2. Who's the man he looks for? 2nd and 8, the Irish are looking at him. So they come to the tight end, Tanner Cowley, over the middle, inside the 40 to the 37-yard line. Pickup of 32 for the tight end.
Cowley's your tight end on the left. Watch him slam release. The eyes of Gilman go to the backfield. Once he sees that tight end block, Gilman's eyes go to the backfield. He releases uncovered down the middle.
beg your pardon, gained 22, not 32. It equals the longest of the season for the senior from Jersey, Manasquan, New Jersey. Terrific start to this game. Inside of 3 minutes here in the quarter. They get it to Reed. Gets out of one tackle. Sean Crawford gets rid of the Terrell Jana block to knock him out of bounds.
I was talking with defensive coordinator Clark Lee before the game, and he was really concerned about this offense. They get so many unique looks and so many ways to formation you. They do a lot of the same plays, but different personnel groupings, odd alignments, and you definitely have to find out where number 2 Reed lines up. It's tricky to defend. He's going to do a lot of things with twisting to try to contain the quarterback. But so far, Virginia's having their way offensively.
That's the man matching wins with Clark Lee, the offensive coordinator for the Cavaliers. Robert and I spent a lot of time at BYU, played on their championship team. Here's Perkins, pressure, and Aquara gets his first sack. The ball came out at the end. Let's see if he was down or not. They continue to scramble for it. The ball was close to coming free. It looked like Drew White was down there for Notre Dame trying to dig it out. It was recovered by Virginia, where there was a fumble. It's interesting, Aquara comes out of the pile with the ball, but the referee pointed that it was Virginia ball.
Fumble recovered by Notre Dame.
He pointed the wrong way. The ball was out, and the Irish have recovered on the first impact play by Aquara. And on it, no body part down, ball out. Notre Dame rallies to the ball. They recover and get the game's first turnover. Covered by Notre Dame. Bring our rules analyst Terry Cawley back in here. Terry, you thought this play should have been whistled?
Absolutely, Mike. I believe this is clearly forward progress. He's hit and driven back a yard going to the ground before he loses the football. This is a forward progress situation that I think should have been killed.
But he's a running quarterback. Do referees ever say, this guy's a runner, I got to give him more leeway to get out?
If it appears that he's going to get out, yes. But when he's going to the ground like this after being driven back the yard, forward progress should have been ruled.
Irish ball, Claypool on the edge, gain of 5 to the 49-yard line in front of Bryce Hall, their standout corner. Still, in all, a big awareness play by Julian Aquara to get his hand on the ball, though.
Absolutely. First, he came in under control because it's a scrambling quarterback. Secondly, he made the hit, and as he's taken to the ground, he sees the ball being hung a little loose, reaches with the opposite hand, and intentionally knocks the ball away.
Officially marked at the 48-yard line. So on second down, Book throws back shoulder incomplete. High for Javon McKinley. Flag comes down. Let's see if this is offensive or defensive pass interference. It'll be defensive. Unless this official pointed
Pass
the wrong
interference.
way.
Defense, number 34.
Bryce Hall was stunned. He was sure that that was going to be against Notre Dame's senior receiver. Instead, it's against the All-America corner.
He was in great position, body to body the entire way, so it created a back shoulder throw. He turning his head, there's hand fighting. Ball's over his head. Yeah, I think you keep the flag in your pocket.
So first down for the Irish from the 36. Here's Komet on the edge, met right away, and driven back by Nick Grant. Nick Grant from Spotsylvania, Virginia, had an 85-yard pick 6 against William and Mary. He's a guy who told everyone, hey, when I get a pick, my first one's going to be a pick 6. It was in that 52-17 Week 2 win for the Cavaliers. Now Chris Fink is out there matched up with him. Irish tight formations, makes the bodies near the ball. As Book rolls, flag down. It's going to be a Charles Snowden of Virginia, who knocked over Cole Komet, who was an eligible receiver past the line of scrimmage.
Holding. Defense, number 11. 10-yard penalty. Results in a first down.
Sorry, Terry, I don't mean to take your work there from you, but it was right in front of me.
No problem, Mike.
Here's Cole Komet on Snowden. Snowden realizes it's bootleg. Komet's going to get away, give me a tug and a hold and pull down. Relatively easy call.
Hey, Snowden's a terrific player. He was the National Defensive Player of the Week last week. A couple of sacks, and he was in on 15 tackles when they were sweating it against Old Dominion. Book. Kicks it to Sebo Flemister. Speed on the edge. Flemister inside the 15. Lowers the shoulder to the 11-yard line for the sophomore. Noah Taylor, the Virginia tackle. First down, Notre Dame.
Really nice job of patience by Book here. This is looking for a big play. They faked a little toss. We're looking for something down the field. It wasn't happening. And then Flemister makes something out of it, breaks a tackle.
He and Book on fire in this opening quarter. 8 for 8, 70 yards. Back into the first, it's a gift to Flemister. Ducks inside the block. He's going to the end zone. Notre Dame touchdown. Bo Flemister.
Somebody's breaking tackles, Coach. Somebody's stepping out of arm tackles and making a few extra yards.
Notre Dame was looking for running backs to impact the game in that way, and Flemister just does just that for his first touchdown. Jonathan Dorr on for the extra point. And the Irish lead after the turnover, 4 plays, 54 yards in 96 seconds before Saborius Flemister scored.
That's right guard, 78, Kramer pulling out here. Now it's not clean right away at the point of attack. It's not clean, but watch him finish his guy all the way to the end zone. And that's Snowden. He stayed with him all the way to the end, driven 10 yards back into the end zone.
Flemister, as a high school senior, scored 35 touchdowns. This is a running back group that has had multiple injuries. It's been trying to identify, was there going to be a bell cow? Remember, Dexter Williams came in with a near 1,000-yard season after missing the first 4 games last year. The running back room knew there was attention on them to change a bit of the narrative. And against Bronco Mendenhall's defense, a very solid run by Flemister has given the Irish a 7-point lead.
That's a spark they have definitely been missing. Being able to step out of tackles, make a few extra yards, get something out of the run game.
Into the wind, Jonathan Dorr's kick, so it's not a big win. Wind has not taken it into the end zone. There it does. Touchback, and the Irish will see Virginia start at the 25-yard line. This Virginia team has a lot to like, and Notre Dame took an early punch as Virginia drove down the field, but a quick response on both sides of the ball for ND.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I think you see Ian Book being decisive with the ball. He made some tight throws and tight windows on 3rd down to convert, and then the running game starting to gain momentum for Notre Dame.
It's funny how like one small play can change a game. If Virginia holds Notre Dame 3 and out on that opening drive, no offside penalty, and they get the ball and score, very different feel to the game. Irish take advantage of the Cavaliers' mistake by inches, and it's now 14-7. Virginia's down. And that pass with a flag throw is completed to Billy Kemp IV. Sean Crawford was all over him.
I really thought Crawford was reading the route well.
Ineligible downfield. Number 2, offense. He was covered up. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
There's a formation issue with Joe Reed, so no flag on Crawford. Instead, procedural on Virginia.
This means that somebody outside of Joe Reed, who's probably in the slot, an outside receiver, covered him up on the line of scrimmage, makes him ineligible. He can't head upfield.
Correction. Notre Dame has declined the penalty. 2nd down.
The pass was ruled incomplete.
So he's on the ball here, and your receiver on the outside is also on the ball, which basically makes the inside receiver a tackle, and he cannot go up the field. The outside receiver, Kemp, has to be at least a yard off the ball or off the ball.
Instead of 1st and 15, the Irish will go 2nd and 10. And Perkins will keep it, and he'll come to the edge with space. And in the open field, gets past Jalen Elliott, slides down to the 40-yard line, the Virginia sideline. Wanted a flag for the hit on the slide. And on Colin Kareem, they don't get it. It's a first down for the Cavaliers as the quarter comes to a close.
I tell you what, when I didn't slide a lot. I dove head first towards people because you always end up getting hit sliding. And that's close. I mean, you can get hurt when people are falling on you when you're sliding.
Gain of 15 after 1. Notre Dame 14, Virginia 7. Back after these messages for your locals Monday right here on NBC. 2nd quarter here in South Bend. Mike Tirico, Doug Flutie, Chris Sims on the field. Catherine Tappan on the sideline. Terry McCauley, our rules analyst. Liam McHugh keeping an eye on everything going on in college football. Number 10 against number 18, best matchup of the day. Good quarter to start it. 14-7 Irish. Second quarter begins with a keep by Perkins. Okwara chased him down, and he's wrapped up by Alohi Gilman. And it'll be a loss of a yard officially for the Virginia quarterback.
Okwara really showing up. Forced the fumble on the sack here. He feathers it a little bit, chases an athletic quarterback down to make the play. Containing this guy from running is the #1 key for the Notre Dame defense, because Perkins in the open field is scary. And I think Julian Okwara feels like he has something to prove after the first few weeks, only coming out with 3 tackles.
Terrific season last year, 8 sacks, all those pressures. The Pro Football Focus charted. Here's Perkins on the move and throwing as he got hit as he threw, and that ball is incomplete. Perkins took a shot at the back end of it. Sean Crawford coverage. Khalid Kareem was putting on the heat. 3rd down and 11 coming up.
This was an unbelievable throw. I mean, this is a good comeback. He hits him in the chest, but watch him duck and throw and takes the hit. But that's an athletic play. You're ducking away, throwing, which softens the blow, and the ball could have been played. Use the ground to field the ball, so it's incomplete. But the ball is right on the money.
That was, remember the old duck and chuck?
Duck and chuck.
Derisive term for the run and shoot back in the 80s. That was duck and chuck. Timeout taken.
The previous play is under further review.
We're going to take a look at that. You mentioned, Doug, the nose of the ball was on the ground. He did have a hand on it. We'll bring in Terry to walk us through the replays of this catch or no catch. Ruled incomplete on the field. Terrell Chapman there. We'll take a look at it when we come back. 48 seconds into this second quarter. Terrell Chapman ruled not a catch down on the field. We're having fun because, again, they disagree with Terry McCauley here a little bit. Terry, you thought this could have been kept a catch?
I mean, it's really close, and maybe Stans would have been better, but he gets complete control prior to the ball hitting the ground. I see slight movement after it's ground. I don't see complete loss of control at any point.
But ruled incomplete on the field.
Right, so they may have gone Stans. I don't see that they can confirm that as an incomplete pass.
Yeah, they did say confirm, but love your perspective. It's 3rd and 11 now for the Cavaliers. The volume increases here in South Bend. Irish rush 4. Keep a couple waiting for Perkins, who fires. Caught by Reed. Inbounds. First down at the Irish 46 in front of Sean Crawford. The game was 15.
Reed working on Crawford in the slot. Takes it up. He doesn't create much separation. This ball's thrown early and is in the air. Great anticipation. And then Reed holding onto the ball to the ground, securing it, protecting himself. That's a great catch. Unbelievable anticipation on that throw.
They send Reed now out of the backfield and throw complete to Terrell Jana behind him to the 40-yard line. Pickup of a half dozen on first down.
I'm changing my mind on Perkins as a passer. I've seen some great feel, some anticipation. It's not a pure throwing motion. It doesn't look real pretty sometimes, but some of the throws he has made are just unbelievable.
Second and 4 now. Talapapa out of the backfield. Blitz coming for the Irish. Perkins runs away from it, and people are waiting for him. Slides. That slide began to be just a gain of a yard. Chris, since field level, give me a sense of what you see out of the 6'3 senior Perkins.
Well, he's impressive. And Doug, you're all over it. I mean, this has not been bad Notre Dame defense at this point. This has been more really good quarterback play. He's got a great feel of kind of scrambling, keeping plays alive. And that last throw, come on, it doesn't get any better than that, guys.
Well, Chris, good pickup by you during the break. We have not seen Dalen Hayes come in yet for Notre Dame. One of their defensive rotations with Jameer Jones, who played at the end of the Virginia game. This is 3rd and 3. The backfield's empty. They swing it out to Reed. Can he get there? It's close. He's a yard short at the 37-yard line. 4th and 1. Field goal from here would be 55 yards. The back end of their kicker's range. Looks like they'll go for it.
It's Reed moving out of the backfield on a little swing. When he's in motion or when he's in a different place, he's getting the ball.
Hey, guys, one thing I'm alert to with what Virginia does. Quarterback design run here on the 4th and short. I would expect we see something like that.
Perkins is the man who carries it the most for them. Play clock running down. Perkins has it. He gives it, and Talapapa gets the first down. Jalen Elliott with the tackle of the running back from Hawaii, from the same hometown as Alohi Gilman, the Irish safety. Chains move. 4.5 gone by, 3.5, excuse me, in the second quarter.
What Chris is talking about is a popular play, like in option football, quarterback follow. You can run that same exact action, the quarterback pull it, and just follow the tailback in the hole with an extra blocker. So they run power football with him as well.
Here's Gilman. He and 21 in white, Talapapa, same hometown, but they have not played a game against each other since junior year of high school. That's different high schools. Perkins slides it complete to his tight end. Tanner Cowley had a 22-yard catch earlier. Is Alohi Gilman with the tackle this time around. Catherine Tappan's on the sideline.
Well, Mike, Chris Sims noticed that Dalen Hayes was not in the lineup, and he's on the sideline right now for Notre Dame, nursing a right shoulder injury. So we'll keep an eye on him. He's got it in a brace, but that is also the shoulder that was surgically operated on in high school as well. So we'll see if Dalen Hayes comes back in here for the Irish.
That's right. That was his senior year at Skyline High School in Ann Arbor, Michigan. From the 26, it's 2nd and 3. Perkins pressured, looking for a way out. That's a good job, Doug, by the Irish. They are staying where they are in their lanes to not give them a way to wiggle on out of there.
Notre Dame says, we're playing run. Look at this. Nobody is deep. Nobody back here. Everybody up. Man-to-man coverage across the board. No free safety. We're playing run. Good containment on the outside. Too many bodies. Can't block them all.
Converted linebacker Ovio Rufo in there, 29 for the Irish. See some of his first action of the year. Catherine mentioned the injury to Hayes. It's a very deep defensive end rotation. Goes down to the 4th level as Ovi made the play there. 3rd and 7. Kelly in motion, 5 in the pattern. Perkins flings it, caught first down to Joe Reed, 20. You know, there's a lot of schoolyard to Perkins and Reed, and I mean that in the most positive way because they just make plays.
There's pressure on the quarterback right away, and this is a timing throw. He's got to get rid of it. He throws the ball falling away. It's a little high, and Reed lays out for it. Tagovailoa came through basically untouched with the pressure. Falling away, Perkins makes an accurate throw where Reed goes up and gets it. That's two guys just making a play.
6 of those 12 completions are to Reed. He has 80 receiving yards. Formation here, and they like to change it up as Perkins seeks, throws incomplete. Irish hanging with Reed that time. So Doug, what are the challenges for a running quarterback plus a guy like Reed? We've seen they move all over the formation. That puts the defense under a lot of pressure.
First of all, you got to find out where Reed is, but secondly, okay, let's commit to stopping the quarterback run, so we're going to get an extra safety involved. We're going to play some man coverage. So now you're one-on-one with a dynamic receiver that can go up and get the ball, and sometimes with no free safety help.
Feels like you run out of people at some point.
Yeah, you need a 12th guy. Let's play Canadian rules.
Assis Dubois comes over to the near side, to the right of the formation. Perkins, Cowley the tight end to the 14-yard line, spilled by Troy Pride Jr. If you watch BYU football during the heyday of Lavelle Edwards, and of course Bronco Mendenhall was at BYU for 11 years, and a lot of the staff was there, including Robert Anai, the offensive coordinator. You saw tight ends just go over the middle forever in Provo, and you see that a lot with 44.
Absolutely, the quick passing game, the days of Steve Young and Jim McMahon at BYU.
Anai, we just saw there, the offensive coordinator, was a teammate of those guys. Another 3rd down. Virginia's converted the last 2.
All-out blitz, 0 coverage.
Perkins carrying it quick and had it knocked down. It was knocked down by the Irish pressure. And it'll bring up 4th down. Jeremiah Usu-Karamoa coming in. And the field goal unit's now coming in.
Just bringing the house, bringing them all on this side, coming off the edge. Get a big hand up. I think it was Tagovailoa that got the hand up and knocks it right back.
It was. Myron has played very well in the inside.
Myron. I'll just call him Myron. I called him Myron first season.
Brian Delaney on for the field goal from 32 yards away. And the junior from Chantilly, Virginia, knocks it through. Approaching midway point in the second quarter. The Irish lead by 4. Longtime University of Georgia, but what a program going right now. The lacrosse team won the national championship. That basketball title we mentioned a year after that lost in the 116 game to UMBC. The men's and women's soccer team, the field hockey team, are all in the top 5 right now. Tremendous time to be a Virginia fan. Lawrence Keys not going anywhere. Terrific coverage down at the 16. Antonio Clary down there on special teams for Virginia to make the tackle. Well, Notre Dame has not seen a lot from Chase Claypool thus far in this game, and in part because he got banged up earlier on this pass when he was tackled by Bryce Hall. Catherine Tappan's been watching on the sideline. What's going on with Chase?
Yeah, Mike, they took him into the tent. They taped up his left ankle and his foot. He was running back and forth on the sideline. He was being tended to by the medical staff. He was starting to amp up his runs back and forth, and I see right now that he's got his helmet on, looking like he's going to go back into this game. That's good news for the Irish, Mike. Talking
to Dale Alexander, the wide receiver coach, and he's ready to roll. We'll see from the 16. Book, who has been hot, off the hands of McKinley, who was in stride and on the run. That's an incompletion, and that's the first for Ian Book on this day.
It was the first inaccurate throw. He drifts a little to his left as he's throwing a slant route. Really came under. Nice little route, push off a little and break. Big body guys on slant routes are good targets. This one's just a little out in front.
And they get Michael Young back from injury. Claypool back in the lineup here on second down. A run to the right. Tony Jones Jr. That's a big run. It's a gain of 9. That is something Clark Lee, or I should say Chip Long, the offensive coordinator, really wanted to see. A return to the power running that we've seen over the last couple of years with the Irish.
Yeah, that was very encouraging. Started with Sebo Flemister down by the goal line, pulling through some tackles. There, nice little pin and pull.
3rd and 1, short yardage, and it's Jones on the edge, breaks through the tackle to get the first down. Joey Blount was there, the junior from Atlanta. Couldn't bring him down in time to keep the chains from moving. This one is stopped.
Keys never got set. He was hustling out to his position. He wasn't hustling.
Offense, number 13. He was never set for at least 1 second. 5-yard penalty. First down.
He was coming from one side of the field to the other, just kind of coasting over there. And as he lined up, the ball snapped. Got to be set.
Lawrence Keys, the sophomore from New Orleans, will come to the bench along with Tony Jones Jr. Avery Davis goes into the lineup in the backfield for the Irish. Pressure picked up for the moment as they set up Davis on the screen. He dropped it, and if he bounced that outside the numbers, he had a ton of room to run.
Had a play. Avery Davis usually coming in the game as a receiver out of the backfield. He's very good at this stuff. Run screens, jet sweeps.
Watch this room outside the numbers. There is no Cavalier there. Davis was on defense earlier this year with the injuries to Jafar Armstrong and Jameer Smith. Davis was moved a couple of weeks ago back from defense to offense. Here is Book, everything picked up, shot down the field for Kmet. Cole Kmet at the 40-yard line. A pickup of 37.
If it were not for Book's confidence in Kmet, he never throws this ball. It's tight coverage. There's a guy coming open underneath, but he decides to stay with the upfield throw to Kmet. He had a big week last week. I'm giving you a chance. And he finds the ball.
Irish get on the ball quick from the 41-yard line. Book back to work. Good pocket. Claypool, it is broken up and almost intercepted. Great play, Joey Blount. Terrific athleticism, just not enough air under it as he tried to get it to Claypool, who comes back towards the Irish sideline.
He goes right up the seam, but there's a free safety in the middle of the field. Blount's right there. This ball should not be thrown. I mean, you're throwing that into a free safety. Goes up high, points the ball, tips it, and it's got to be frustrating laying on the ground watching it come to the ground slowly.
So 2nd and 10. It's the long throw. Good job by Young not to let his right knee hit the ground. Gets to the 37-yard line. It's a gain of 4 for the Bryce Hall tackle with 6:15 till halftime.
I feel like Ian Book is being encouraged to go down the field more with the football. Let's make some big plays in downfield in the passing game. So he's forcing the issue a little bit. 1 for 2 on those downfield throws.
Javon McKinley to his right, number 88. Irish offensive line thus far has done a good job holding off the Virginia pressures. Notre Dame's picked up all 5 third downs to this point. Pressure comes, Book gets away, fires on the run, it's broken up. Terrific job on the back end with the coverage. It'll bring up 4th down from the 37. Brenton Nelson made the defensive play. Looks like Brian Kelly is going to keep the offense out there.
Boy, just free releasing the back to that side, and no one came out to block Snowden. The line went down, and he had a free rush at the quarterback. Absolutely nothing Ian Book could do there.
So much more analytics is played into football decisions by coaches, and Brian Kelly does a lot of work with the analytics during the week, knowing these situations before you have to make a hair-trigger decision, go or not go. So they had an idea this place in the field, they'd be going at this point. And Book throws underneath. Jones caught it, breaks a tackle, or check the mark. He is marked, got to get right to the 31-yard line. The ball was down, there's no fumble. Jordan Mack and Charles Snowden on the tackle. Let's see where that ball will be put down.
Timeout, measurement.
Well, it is rare that you see a measurement. So often when a drive starts, the officials will put the ball touching a yard line.
Watch Tony Jones release through Taylor. Free rusher at the quarterback, still makes an accurate throw. It's 4th down. Ian Book had to hang in there. And then Tony Jones with the catch and fight.
Ball in his left hand leaning forward. It was spotted not near a hash. They bring out the chains. And from that, he has it for the 1st down. It'll be a 4th down pickup. I'm sure replay will take a peek at that, but don't know if there's enough conclusively to flip a spot at that point. Chris Sims.
Mike, one of the things that really has jumped out to me, brilliant by offensive coordinator Chip Long, the no huddle aspect today. The reason they're doing that is because they know Virginia and Bronco Mendenhall have a complicated defense.
Previous play is under further review.
A lot of different calls, so you line up at the line of scrimmage, it kind of makes a defensive coordinator get simple. He doesn't want too much communication going with a hurry-up tempo offense.
So it kind of regulates them. So as we thought, the replay booth has buzzed down. They'd like a peek at that on the spot on Jones, who is reaching forward to get over the 31. We'll step out. Replay confirmed the spot. 1st down Notre Dame at the 31-yard line with 5.5 till the half in a good one here in South Bend. Book gives to Sebo Flemister along the right. Got away from one man, but not the second. And Virginia rallies to the ball to limit the gain for the sophomore who scored in the 1st quarter.
Tell you what, if Notre Dame can get back to that formation with the flip of the tight end, there is no safety on the weak side of the field. Komet will have an opportunity to run up a seam down the field.
Tony Jones Jr. comes back in for the Irish. They put him out into the boundary and then in motion. Fake. Book loads. Incomplete for Fink, who was well covered by the combination of Blount and Nelson. Virginia often has 5 defensive backs on the field, and it sets up 3rd down.
The last 2 plays, a lot of confidence in this Virginia defensive secondary, because they're man-to-man all over the field with no help over the top. It's time for Chip Long and Ian Book to take a few shots down the field. There they were looking for one.
Third and 8, pressure comes up the middle. They set up the screen for Jones, and he could not find him. So as that pressure came with Jordan Mack coming through, Book couldn't get it to Jones, who again, if they would have connected, would have had a room to run. Field goal attempt coming.
Mack comes flying through. Not enough time to set up the screen. Book guesses and tries to put it in a spot, but there's just not enough time to make it happen.
Well, that is 2. Against pressure, the screens always slow down pressure and often can just give a fatal blow to those blitzes, but twice, once to Davis a drop in that one. They misconnect. So here is Jonathan Dorr from 47 yards. Had this range in warm-up. Made his 2 attempts thus far this year. Out of the hold of punter Jay Bramlett. That one leaking left and no good. This group always does win probability, so factoring in the loss and what's ahead on the road for the Irish, you see their win probability for the remaining games this season. In the back of your mind, knowing only a one-loss team is going to get to the playoffs. If you put them all together, continue that probability out, 6% chance to win them all, which would give them a 42% chance of making the playoff if they got there. Many people will say Notre Dame's November schedule is weak. Notre Dame doesn't have a conference championship, so how will they do? There's a lot to play out. I heard some folks making these dramatic statements about Notre Dame can't be in the playoff. Who knows at this point? It's September. Be patient. Everybody's got to speak in these massive headlines. Let the season play out. Needless to say, the Irish do know no 2-loss team has ever gotten to the playoff in its first 5 years. Here's Joe Reed. He's going to be playing on Sundays. Big hit there. Tackled at the 35-yard line. Gain of a half dozen for the senior from a small town, Charlotte Courthouse, Virginia. One of those 500 population, one stoplight towns. He goes back home and visits with the folks from there. But he is also one of those pillars of the program, a program that won 2 games when Bronco Mendenhall got there, and then 6 games, and now is building back-to-back bowl games and back in the top 20. And by Taulapapa, the ball jumped on as it squirts back beyond the initial line of scrimmage.
Ball carrier is down.
They're going to call it down, so it will not be the recovery where Cowley was, but where Taulapapa was hit at the 38-yard line.
It's amazing how they move Joe Reed around in every position on the field, whether he's out wide, in the slot, lines up at the tailback, and you know he's getting the ball. You can't tackle him and you can't cover.
Ball popped out on that play and replay. I think we either stop it or Brian Kelly will go timeout. It really was down. It was not. The ball was clearly out. It looked to me initially that Cowley recovered. Let's see if there's a clear recovery on replay of that ball, which we'll get a look at from this secondary angle.
Yeah, there's no doubt that Cowley is the guy that dives on it, as Crawford looked like he was going after it.
The ball was definitely knocked out.
But if nothing else, it's marked 5 yards further back.
Yeah, that's a terrific job by Cowley to get on before Sean Crawford did. There's an official there also to confirm it was 3rd down and recovered by UVA.
All I saw was Crawford running for the ball, and I didn't see anybody else moving. Cowley did a great job of noticing the ball being loose, falling on it.
Scott Held, the center judge, was right there. He clearly saw the recovery. So Gary Patterson, the referee, is on with Larry Mollum, the replay official. We mentioned for a moment Bronco Mendenhall rebuilding this Virginia program. As you get another look at that clear recovery via replay. So it'll be Virginia ball, but Notre Dame will get the yardage back on the recovery by Cowley. Bronco Mendenhall told us there was no aspect of this program that was of industry standard, which is a unique way of saying it's a rebuild. And he found when he was at BYU, 11 years, 99 wins, he had built that thing back. It was so successful the Lavelle Edwards era was not in the short time after that. Mendenhall felt all of his memories from the BYU days were of the rebuild, not the last 4 or 5 years of his run there. So he was seeking a rebuild at a program where they could play Power 5 football. There was a purpose to the university and academics as well.
Rolling on the field as the ball carrier fumbled the ball, and it was recovered by Virginia at the 34-yard line. It'll be 3rd down at the 34-yard line for Virginia. The clock will start on my signal.
So Mendenhall took most of his staff, a lot of folks who have either played for him during his BYU days as defensive coordinator or 11 years as head coach, and coaches who were with him, and came to Virginia. It surprised a lot of people in the college football community. It wasn't a necessary fit. But he really has Virginia back in the conversation for the first time since Al Groh, and before that, the George Welsh terrific days. 3rd and 5 for Bryce Perkins. He will give Taulapapa on the carry. He is still going and stopped a yard shy of the first down. Alohi Gilman was there first on his fellow Laia Hawaii native.
To follow up on the Bronco Mendenhall story, I mean, just the fact that he wants to accept that challenge and wanted a new challenge, loves the building of a program and building young men, and he's done it in 3 years, 4 years now.
He's a very proud member of the Church of Latter-day Saints. Said the purpose at Virginia, the running up as the personal protector Cali, which they have done before, and now this is a penalty called on that move. And they did this earlier this year.
False start. Number 44. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
Cali's the personal protector, calls the signals, runs up there in that fake punt mode, but is whistled for a false start.
Maybe because he puts his hands under center. Do they go under and he pulls out? Is that a simulation of a start of a play?
Terry McCauley?
No, Mike, I mean, if he simulates start by that running up, if that's abrupt and simulates, then that's a false start. It looked like he just ran kind of smoothly up. You know, it's a close one.
First punt of the day is 38 yards. Fair caught by Chris Fink. In America, 7 Eastern time. Rodney, Tony, Mike Florio, joined Liam, Chris, yours truly. We'll wrap up Sunday number 4 of the NFL season. Get you ready for a good one with Al, Chris, and Michelle from the Dome on Sunday Night Football. Clock was reset during that stoppage to 2:30. Booked first down to Claypool is complete with that sore ankle. Claypool twist forward in front of Nick Grant for a gain of 6.
Again, like early in the game, Nick Grant closing on a ball, but this is a great 2-minute situation. Plenty of time. You can still mix the run and pass, but a drive that could double up with getting the ball in the second half for Notre Dame.
Get the full Belichick, score, and get the ball to start the second half and try to score. Book protected. Receiver Claypool goes down. Don't know if that had anything to do with a cut on that ankle injury, and he limps to the sideline after the pass is incomplete. If you weren't with us, first quarter, injured left ankle when he was tackled by Bryce Hall.
Yeah, trying to come out of the top of the route. It's the left ankle that's bothering him. I mean, he could just not get out of the break, and very fortunate the ball ends up incomplete.
Claypool over to get looked at on the sideline. Rob Hunt, the director of athletic training, will be over for a peek, I'm sure. Book with the late pressure coming from the corner, escapes, but is tackled by Aaron Famui, who plays the most snaps of those defensive linemen. And Virginia will take a timeout as they try to get the ball back.
Virginia.
1:51 to go. It's 4th and 3 for the Irish. Able to get one there on the corner blitz that forced Book into pressure. So Bronco Mendenhall's team gets the Irish offense off the field. And Jay Bramlett will come into punt. Jay Bramlett, freshman from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, who does a really good job of kicking a hard-to-catch ball. Billy Kemp is back to receive. There was a muffed kick in the game in Athens by Georgia. And Chris Fink of the Irish told us yesterday there's no discernible flight pattern when trying to catch the Bramlett kicks. It often can be hard to bring down if he hits it the right way. Kemp will fair catch this, have no problem doing it at the 23-yard line. That's where Virginia will take over. Doug, let's take a peek at this no discernible flight pattern.
It's a wobbler. That one had a little bit of a spiral to it, so it held its path a little better. But in general, when he hits it and that rotation slows down, that ball starts bobbing and weaving like a knuckleball.
I was talking with Chris Collinsworth about this in Cleveland a couple of weeks ago. Punt returns have a tough time. Sometimes it feels like it hits a wall and comes straight down. And Chris Fink said that's exactly the way it feels when you try to catch Bramlett's kicks. The freshman has come in and done very well for the Irish. Let's see if Virginia now can get a score before halftime. Minute 45, a couple of timeouts to work with. And Bryce Perkins begins with Terrell Jana. He stopped 28-yard line, give him 4. Tariq Gracie had a good week last week against the Dogs with the tackle.
Notre Dame comes out starting with just being aggressive and man-to-man coverage across the board and eyeing the quarterback.
2nd and 6, $1:24 to go. Perkins has a pocket, he has time, and he has his man, Dubois, breaking free. inside the 35-yard line, beat Bracy for 40 yards. Asserts Dubois.
Started with pass protection, but they eat up the safety with an upfield route and throw the post over his head, one-on-one on the outside.
Longest catch of the year for Dubois, and let's see what that whistle is.
Officials timeout, repair the chains.
Chains are tangled.
Perfectly placed ball to the inside. Dubois reaches forward, has one-on-one coverage, but Bracy is expecting to have a safety to his inside. The key to this, it's what we call quarters coverage. There's 4 guys across, but the safety on his side of the field gets eaten up because there's an upfield route. So the safety has to take that upfield route. Now all of a sudden Bracy has no help to the inside. The ball is perfectly thrown. Dubois beats his man on a post route.
Perkins has played well, 16 of 20, 209 yards. Welcome to those of you watching a tight one with Clemson and Carolina, surprisingly, all even in Chapel Hill at the break at 14, and Washington leading USC 14-7. The Trojans come in here in primetime in 2 weeks on NBC against the Irish.
How about the job they're doing with quarterbacks rotating in and that with all the injuries they've had?
USC to their third quarter. Backup quarterbacks, backup chains. The chains got tangled, so the spare chains, not spare change, but spare chains are brought out.
Do they have to take them into the tent to be evaluated?
The chains, yes. Catherine will have a full update on the starting chains at hand. Sounds like some rap band, starting chains. To the 33-yard line.
2 chains.
Whole bunch of timeout. Look at you, Doug. Tragically hit. Here is Perkins. Pocket collapses, and he goes down. Colin Kareem from the edge. The push inside from Heinisch, and they bring him down for a loss of 8.
Timeout, Virginia. That's their second timeout of the half.
Just
30-second timeout.
A great job of pushing the pocket by Kareem and by Heinisch to that side. You don't want to get deeper to a mobile quarterback. Push the pocket from inside. Don't go deeper than the quarterback and make him try to escape out the back. There's nowhere to go when he steps up.
Virginia came in today as the co-national sack leader. The Irish have 3 thus far in the first half, had 4 in the first 3 games. Liam McHugh, Chris Sims, going to have that State Farm halftime report for you. It'll include a look at the Notre Dame senior, the Virginian Jalen Elliott. A little bit of camera work by Jalen for a look at what his game week is like. And we'll have updates on those teams Notre Dame still has on the schedule, including USC. And the bounce back in Ann Arbor for Jim Harbaugh's Wolverine. All coming up, State Farm halftime with Liam and Chris on the field here in South Bend. 2nd and 18 out of field goal range. 1 timeout left. Perkins will complete it, and it's Joe Reed again. He'll duck out of bounds at the 30-yard line. A very easy access pickup of 11 to set up 3rd and 7.
Just a soft zone on 2nd and long. Hit the underneath coverage with a guy like Reed. It turns into an 11-yard gain. Keeps you in decent down and distance with plenty of time on the clock, but only 1 timeout.
Reed, 8 balls today, 96 yards in this first half, and included a 43-yarder on the opening drive score for the Cavaliers. 3rd and 8, field goal from here will be 48 yards. Irish bring pressure. Perkins pass, incomplete, flag throw. Terrell Jana was trying to come back to the ball. Troy Pride had a hook on his arm, and the drive will stay alive for the Cavaliers.
Pass interference. Defense, number 5. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
That was all-out blitz, man-to-man coverage across the board with no free safety help. So Pride's locking on, tries for a back shoulder throw to Jana. Got a fistful of jersey. I got a thumbs up from Terry on the call.
Yeah, it's an easy call. 3 penalties on the Irish, 4 on Virginia here thus far. So 49 seconds, 1 timeout, ball at the 16-yard line. Lamont Atkins checks in at running back. Tight end Cowley's back there with Perkins, who fires. It is caught, brought down, touchdown Dubois. Terrific play in the air by Asserts Dubois, altering Bracy, and Virginia is the team that scores before halftime on a fabulous drive.
Bracy could not be in better position. He's got safety help on that side of the field as well, but just a great throw by Perkins and an unbelievable catch by Dubois going up and finding the ball. and securing the catch. There's a leg down, knee down, he's inbounds, no problem. Great position to make a play, even has his hand on the ball. The ball goes up strong with his hands and pulls it down.
Perkins 5 of 5 on that drive. Physical play, Dubois using his hands to get up and get it. Brian Delaney adds the extra point. First 7 for Virginia, next 14 for the Irish. Virginia is answered with 10, and they lead by 3. What a spectacular day Bryce Perkins on your right is having. The man on the left, Hassis Dubois, with his 4th catch. He has 90 receiving yards and a touchdown. But Perkins has been sensational in this first half, continuing to live up to the billing here. Coming in, again, Perkins was at Arizona State, had a neck injury, a very serious neck injury, questioned if he would continue to play football. Ended up going to Arizona Western Community College, had a very good year at that junior college, taking them deep in the playoffs. And then Virginia ends up signing him. It's one of those, they were checking on another guy, they came across Perkins and they started recruiting him, and he ends up as a Cavalier. And this young man from the Phoenix area has continued to put up good numbers the last 2 years. It's sensational today. Touchback Irish will take over at the 25 with 3 timeouts.
Well, Perkins is definitely a dual threat. I thought he was just a running quarterback that could make some throws once in a while, but this has been impressive. Sometimes he's setting his feet and get rid of it on time with pressure in his face. He's making some unbelievable timing throws, and then with guys in his face falling away, falling out of it, putting it on the spot, like timing type throws, down the field throws, perfectly placed. He can make every throw. He's like an infielder. He can be off bounds, he can be on the back foot, or if his feet are set, he delivers a strike.
Here is Book. He is chasing. Trouble tries to get rid of it. Ball doesn't get to the line of scrimmage. Is Chris Fink close enough for no intentional grounding? That'll be the question here with 39 seconds left. Noah Taylor brought the pressure, and it's grounded.
Number 12, offense. Penalties, loss of down. This spot of the foul. Previous play qualifies for a 10-second runoff.
So Notre Dame has the option, take a timeout and prohibit the 10-second runoff. First, Brian Kelly's trying to say Chris Fink was in the area, but I don't think that's going to get it picked off. And picked up, I should say.
And now you let it run.
Notre Dame has declined to take the timeout to avoid the 10-second runoff. Please put 19 seconds on the clock. 19 seconds.
And those
on my signal.
Apologize. Those unique pressures that Virginia can bring. Able to get there to Noah Taylor's credit. He's the one who had wrapped up Ian Book as he tried to get rid of it. So this Notre Dame offense that seemed to get some rhythm has now been stunted.
Game clock to 19 seconds.
Stunted the last couple of drives.
And now you're in preservation mode. You're getting the ball at the beginning of the second half. Just protect the football here and get to halftime.
There's a question if the 10-second runoff was already chopped off the clock at 29. Touchdown was scored with 43 seconds. You had no kickoff return. That first play should have taken 4 seconds to 39. I think the 10 may have already been taken off, and 29 is the correct time.
Please reset the game clock to 19 seconds and start on my signal.
I'm not sure if that's right. Replay can check that to keep it correct. The Virginia sidelines all fired up as well they should be.
Previous play is under further review.
And now they're going to review the clock. And this is what drives people insane with replay. Procedural stuff.
Stubborn timekeeper believes he already did what was correct.
Bronco Mendenhall saying it's supposed to be 19. We're just double checking to make sure they have the clock right. Again, I'm just going off what I wrote down as the time of the score at 43. So I'm not sure if it should be 29 or 19. But that's the question that's being asked here on the procedural issue with the clock.
Either way, I would assume Notre Dame will run the football. The clock will run out.
Yeah, so here was the clock. The drive did start with 43 seconds. Book was chased, flipped it out. The clock stopped at 39. When they announced Brian Kelly didn't want the 10-second runoff, they moved it to 29.
The clock stopped with 39 seconds. Therefore, 29 seconds is correct. The clock will start on my signal.
So, Doug, going into halftime, just your thoughts here on Virginia getting the early lead, Notre Dame coming back, but the Cavaliers coming right back with a terrific response.
I think the big challenge, I think Notre Dame will be able to continue to move the football and score some points. The challenge is defensively how to control the Virginia offense.
They flip it out to Michael Young back in the line. Young heads out of bounds there.
That surprises me.
Line. Yeah, I thought they were just going to run it and get out of Dodge since Virginia only had one timeout since Notre Dame gets the ball to start the second half. Now it's 3rd and 17.
Now you can stop Notre Dame, call a timeout, and just force a punt.
From the 18-yard line, they do now run it with Tony Jones Jr. who's seeking space. Now will reverse field, get brought down. Terrific pursuit. Bronco Mendenhall runs out to take a timeout as a late flag comes in at the back end of the pile. Joey Blount made the hit. Mendenhall called timeout.
Personal foul, illegal blindside block, number 18, offense. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, illegal blindside block, 87, penalties decline. 4th down.
18 was not on the field. It's 87.
As the runner reverse field, Young came all the way in from a wide receiver position. No doubt about that call.
That is a call. They have tried to
against
clean up.
Nelson.
So timeout was taken with 10 seconds left. The penalty flag was thrown. The penalty was declined.
Declined that to make it 4th down and force the punt.
And we talk about what Bryce Perkins has done. Sensational numbers, only 4 incompletions. But on the other side of this, Doug, the Virginia defense is showing what they have shown during the season against offenses.
The clock will start on my signal.
Thank you. Offense is not as good, perhaps, as the Irish explosive offense. This defense really causes trouble against anyone.
They're creating free rushers off the edge.
Virginia.
By slanting the line, moving people.
Please reset the clock to 10
Keep going.
seconds.
Close this.
By slanting and moving, they're creating a free rush off the edge multiple times, and Ian Book has nowhere to go with the ball quickly. So the pressure package and the stunting and moving is causing issues now. And that's why the run game is so important for Notre Dame.
Just procedurally clean that up. A foul would have stopped the clock. They declined the foul. So Mendenhall had come back and recalled the timeout to keep the clock where it was at 10 seconds and force the punt by Notre Dame. But your point on this clock management was, if you weren't going to try to get the first down, you don't throw it and get out of bounds on 2nd down.
Exactly. That
That
second down
allows
play
this
call.
opportunity to keep the punt block alive here.
And chances are nothing will happen, but you're risking.
Jay Bramlett will kick it. Billy Kemp is back to try to return it. And Bramlett gets it away. Kemp will let it bounce. And the half will come to an end. Virginia has come to South Bend for the first time. They fell into a 14-7 hole, but scored the last 10 of the half to take a 17-14 lead. State Farm halftime report after these minutes. The Virginia quarterback, he has been terrific. Here's what Brian Kelly told his Irish in the locker room a couple of minutes ago.
You can only rely on the guy next to you doing his job. That's called accountability. That's why we have accountability teams. That's why we do this all summer, because you now got to rely on each other to do their jobs and trust that they're going to do their jobs. If you do that, then you're going to be successful. So one play at a time. It starts with kickoff, okay, return, and then the offense gets the football. Offense, go down, take care of business. Let's get the lead back. And then defensively, we know what we need to do. Trust your coaches. We made the adjustments necessary, so let's go play. Let's go win the second half. Let's go win a football game. Let's go.
I will see if the Irish can do that. Catherine Tappan's on the Notre Dame sideline.
Well, Mike, that's what Brian Kelly's message was to his team. As for Bronco Mendenhall, I spoke to him at halftime, and as you can imagine, he was thrilled with his team's performance, mainly the offense. He said, we matched their momentum, and then our defense kept us in it. For the second half, he wants to see his defense keep Ian Book in the pocket and tackle at a high level. Brian Kelly, I caught up with him at halftime. He said this is a hard-fought game. It's exactly what we expected. Also, don't expect to see senior defensive end Dalen Hayes back in the lineup. He is out with a right shoulder injury. Mike?
All right, Catherine, and we'll watch Chase Claypool closely. His ankle injury came back after he was hurt, played a bit in that first half, but then seemed to re-injure it. Kyron Williams back deep to receive Brian Delaney. Over his career, every other kickoff or thereabouts has been a touchback. They'll knock it into the wind here, and they'll pooch it an outside kick and catch it with Bryce Hall down the sideline at the 44-yard line. So they come out and throw the wrinkle and come up with the extra possession. Shades of the Saints in the Super Bowl.
DJ Brown gives ground on the kickoff and gives away the alley for Hall to just run and free catch. It's being aggressive and trying to win a game rather than being afraid to lose. And it's taking the initiative to try to, obviously they've game planned it, looked at it, seen an opportunity, but to have the guts to call it and then connect on it is pretty impressive.
That's something they practiced all week. The timing was perfect with Hall as the outside man on the right side of that kickoff return team. And the catch there at midfield. It's where you caught the ball there, not advancing at that point. So Virginia takes over with a great opportunity to put the Irish in a much deeper hole. Here's Talapapa, the running back, bowling forward for a gain of 10 and a first down to the Irish 40-yard line. Those of you who don't remember, the Saints in the Super Bowl, they went for that extra possession to steal it, give Peyton Manning one less possession. Came up with that kickoff return on the second half opening kickoff and went on and scored and won the Super Bowl. Bronco Mendenhall, who's built a confident group along the way. We've seen that in their games this year. When they've fallen behind, they've responded almost immediately. Taking the advantage here. Bryce Perkins, back to pass, pressure by Aquara, who got him down at the 47-yard line. Second sack for Julian Aquara. The first one was a forced fumble as well.
Well, it's Aquara on a speed rush around the edge, but what makes it happen is it's a true drop back pass with max protection. Perkins expects to be protected, letting routes develop down the field, so he holds the ball, and Aquara gets there, his second sack of the day.
They don't drop back often in traditional way because their tackles wouldn't be able to stay with Notre Dame's defensive ends. They have to use the advantage of the elusiveness of Perkins. After the loss of 7, second and long, Perkins trying to get it back. It is deflected, held on to by Billy Kemp, who got popped by that big hitter, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, who's from the state of Virginia, Bethel High School in Hampton, injured Irish player on the field.
Boy, great break on the ball by Crawford to get a hand in there. Kemp stayed after it, holds on the ball in traffic. I mean, you can't play it any better defensively, and still it's a positive game for Virginia.
Yeah, Sean Crawford injured his arm there. Man who's lost a couple of seasons to injury already is on the field. By Rob Hunt and the rest of the athletic training staff in the tent. Crawford lost 2 seasons to ACLs and tore his Achilles in another season. He has season ended by injury 3 times. So they are looking at him in the medical tent. In the interim, they had called down to say that the booth upstairs was looking at that play for targeting, but that is not the case. They have not buzzed down to stop for a further look or to throw a flag from replay. So the clock winds. It's 3rd and long. Tariq Gracie comes into the Notre Dame lineup at corner for the injured Crawford. 3rd and 13. And 3rd and 18. Right guard moves.
Ball start. Number 69. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Chris Glazer called there. Irish had KJ Wallace on the field there for a second.
They just subbed back in for him.
They brought Owusu-Koramoah in. Seems like one of the adjustments at halftime made by Notre Dame was to have less rover and more extra defensive players on. Wallace has only played 2 snaps this season against New Mexico, but he's not on the field for this one. 3rd and 18. Perkins rolls it and is caught out of bounds at the 40, so from there the field will be 57. They're not going to do that into the wind. It'll set up 4th down and 10, and we'll see if they punt the ball away here. So even though Bronco Mendenhall was able to steal the extra possession with the pooch kick and the surprise, they're not able to get points out of it for the moment. Nash Griffin is on to kick it away. And nothing tricky. He'll drop it with the nose down, try to pin the Irish inside the 10. Chris Fink will let it go. It's caught on the fly. Terrific job in coverage by the safety Blount. He's got it at the 2, and Notre Dame will have 98 yards to go. Perfect special teams execution. Down the steps, the turn from the tunnel towards the Notre Dame locker room. Backed up, 98 to go. Tony Jones Jr. not going to find much of it.
Just a huge drive for Notre Dame to have to, even if they're not scoring in this drive, to get it out of their own end, create field position. Expected to have the ball in the beginning of the half. Virginia has created the momentum with the onside kick and now downing the ball inside the 5.
Chase Claypool is on the field for the Irish. Cole Kmet has 3 receptions. After his 9-reception game in Athens last week, there's Claypool. Injured ankle has 4 catches. Right now, Notre Dame a little bit of confusion in terms of how to line up the wide receivers.
Chips Long does like to take shots backed up on his own end.
This is 2nd and 9, and tight throw. Claypool able to get out of that space. It would have been a loss of yardage. He gets it across the 5 to the 6-yard line before Joey Blount tackles him.
I think people do realize that they go upfield, so he says, hey, I'm going to throw a little hit screen out here, and we're going to just get 5 yards. Well, Grant blows the play up at the goal line. Claypool stays after it.
Again, you'll watch Virginia games, and you'll hear the conversation about Bryce Hall. And the broadcasters over the last couple of games will echo that. As you watch more of the game, more of them on film, you come away impressed with the corner on the other side, Grant, as well. 3rd and 6. Here is Book out of the pocket, looking to take off quickly and going nowhere. Richard Burney, the defensive lineman, in there as it's a no-gain rush for the Irish and a very quick 3-and-out.
I think there was a little bit of panic mode there by Ian Book. Didn't see something right away. Knows he's in his own end zone. Decides to cut his losses and move up. But he was a little more patient. He might have had a couple opportunities.
That's probably what Brian Kelly's talking to him about there. He got quick at times earlier in the season. So 3 consecutive quick possessions with nothing to show for the Irish. Bramlett kicking out of his own end zone. He'll kick it towards the 47-yard line. Kemp gets away from one man. Heads upfield. He's finally tackled. Bo Bauer's been everywhere on special teams this year. Stops him. But Virginia's got the ball at the 38. The new free-to-play game on the NBC Sports Predictor app featuring $2 million in guaranteed cash prizes this season. Sunday night 7. Make your selections. Watch us on Football Night in America. And then Al, Chris, and Michelle, Primetime's #1 show. 8 straight years. Sunday Night Football, a great one. Cowboys and the Saints in New Orleans. Tomorrow night on NBC. Virginia takes over in golden field position from the 38. Bryce Perkins loading up, throwing downfield. That pass is incomplete. Terrell Jana ran into Jalen Elliott. They're missing Sean Crawford in the Irish secondary. Here's Catherine.
Yeah, Mike, and they're not going to get him back. He's out with a left arm injury. He's still being worked on in the medical tent by the medical staff for Notre Dame, and this is a huge disappointment, as you guys mentioned. 3 season-ending surgeries for the 5th-year senior. He is so well loved by this team. They all immediately went down on one knee when he got hurt out there. He talked to me before the New Mexico game. He told me he missed all those injuries. He never even considered walking away from football. This is a huge disappointment for the team and also for Sean Crawford, Mike.
And just as you started that report, Catherine, he came out of that tent. He was spending a moment there. A couple of the different athletic training staff patting Sean Crawford on the back and walking over to that incomplete pass that Perkins threw. 3rd down coming up.
Coming into this game, Clark Lee was really concerned about the quarterback runs and doing some twisting and moving and blitzing and things to contain him, which leaves you vulnerable. This drive, he has gone back to standard 4-3 football and just playing standard defense so guys play fast.
3rd and 10 from the Irish 38. They rush 5. Keep Perkins hemmed in. He lost the football. It is caught by Marvin. Tackled by Ola. Amosa who is running for the end zone and gets to the 7-yard line. Jameer Jones brought the pressure, and Tua's cousin got the ball in his hands and made a play.
Jameer Jones gets the pressure, as you said, and it's a straight push, though. Holding the ball a little too long as Perkins up in the air, and how about the awareness? Tagovailoa Amosa. Rumbling, mumbling, stomach. You thought he was going to get there, didn't you?
Jameer Jones made a very big play, and he was blocked by a running back, Taulapapa, and he couldn't hold up. Notre Dame is so strong at defensive end. Catherine told you no Dalen Hayes, but Jones, who doesn't get many snaps, came in and made a big play. And the big run by Tagovailoa Amosa flips the momentum in the game. First and goal for the Irish from the 7. Tony Jones Jr. powers forward to the 2.
It is amazing what momentum does and energy. All of a sudden, you line up and run the football, and you pound it down inside the 5. It just playing with confidence.
I'm even surprised to see the Irish huddle. This is usually a situation that they've run for 5. They just want to go quick and try to pound it in. Here they go from the 2. Jones inside in the end zone. The Irish take the lead. Touchdown, Tony Jones Jr.
Straight power football on the goal line to get it in, but it's Jameer Jones that caused the turnover, and it's talking about accountability at halftime. Everybody just do your job. You get an opportunity, you just do your job. Push the pocket, create the fumble. Tagovailoa Amosa recovers it and takes it the other way, and then the offense takes over. But it's a momentum builder. You never know who is going to make the crucial play.
It's a great point. That's what Brian Kelly, as you said, was emphasizing in that halftime speech. Second touchdown of the season for Jones, 8th of his career. And there's motion again up front. Virginia had the ball.
False start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. Still on the track.
It's Liam Eichenberg, who had the multiple infractions in Athens. Virginia had the ball at their own 50 after the Pooch kickoff to start the half. They had the ball at their own 38 after the 3 and out. And those are places you have to get points. You cannot have 2 possessions midfield and in and get nothing. And really it becomes -6 or 7 with Kelly's team getting the turnover and the touchdown.
And the Notre Dame defense went back to a base defense and just said, we're going to play it straight. If the quarterback takes off on us, we'll react.
So Jonathan Dorr will turn it into a 26-yard extra point. That is a perfect snap from John Shannon. The hold from Jay Bramble. Virginia's turned it over twice. It's turned into 14 Notre Dame points. The Irish take the lead. Their defense with impact plays. Jones the hit. Tagovailoa Amosa ran it down there. Jones Jr. ran it in. See all the big games, including the Stanley Cup Final on NBC, NBCSN. Catherine Tappan will be in the studio for you opening night. This stadium rocked when the Winter Classic was here on New Year's Day, starting 2019 in Notre Dame Stadium with a bang. No return here. A bang just a moment ago for Myron Tagovailoa Amosa, who took the Jameer Jones forced fumble and rumbled down the field. Myron Tagovailoa Amosa, that middle name there, Tagovailoa, is so common in this sport because of his cousin, Tua. Both Hawaii, there you see Tua's younger brothers also at Alabama. Big family. They're together all the time. Their family and football means so much in Hawaii. Tua has thrown 4 touchdowns in Alabama's game against Ole Miss. But I was talking to Mike Elston, the defensive line coach for the Irish, on the field before the game, and we talked about Myron and how he has really emerged, and we saw it last week against Georgia. That middle defense was a question on the line this year, and he's been a big reason it's been pretty good so far.
He said last week they really grew up at that position, and that Myron really inserted himself, became a factor. I'll tell you what, this play by Jameer Jones could wind up being a turning point of the season. If the Irish go on to win this game and do what they think they can do the rest of the year, they're going to look at that play as something that changed momentum in this game and put them in a position to win it.
Jerry Tillery and Jonathan Bonham, two very good players. Tillery drafted. Bonner not getting the acclaim nearly as much from last year's defense. But Mike Elston had a big shoes to fill, big pair of shoes in the middle. And this play by Heinisch and Tagovailoa Mosa has been very key. And Jacob Lacey, the freshman, in there now, along with Jason Ademilola. The Virginia's offense finds it again. Not there. Spun and turned around by the aforementioned Jason Ademilola. No game.
Well, it's a momentum thing, and I think they're playing faster. I think the Notre Dame defense is playing much faster because they are just lining up and playing man-on-man and beating guys one-on-one rather than trying to scheme them and worry about the quarterback taking off and leaving DBs on an island. Now they're just lining up, seeing the football with their eyes and reacting.
What can Virginia get back to? They have not run good plays in the second half.
And that's a straight 4-3 defense right there.
Taulapapa in motion. Bryce Perkins, collapsing pocket. The 6th sack for the Irish today.
The primary guy was Khalid Kareem just pushing the pocket.
Chris Sims, what a difference the pressure is in the middle there.
Well, without a doubt. And Doug, you're all over it. That's what jumped out to me. Playing zone coverages, clouding passing lanes, and letting this front four go to work.
Loss of 4, 3rd and 14. Perkins just going to design to run it. Not going to get very far. Get back to the 25. That's it. So no yards gained on those 3 plays. 3 really poor drives for the Hoos with momentum in the second half.
Sometimes you can overthink things. You start the scheme during the week. You got a little extra time. You put these ideas together, and it's great. But now the guy's got to go out and execute it. Instead, now you go back to leaning on the things you've done since day one at training camp so guys can play fast.
Just ran into the block. Nash Griffin getting it away. Chris Fink. Oh, and he muffed it. 3 on the ground. I think the Cavaliers fell on it, and they have it. Virginia ball. Fink running up on it. He had been so good catching punts during his Notre Dame career, but lost it. And even though the Irish are fighting at the bottom of the pile for it, it was already pointed by the officials that it was Virginia ball.
The ruling on the field, kick was muffed by the receivers, recovered by the kicking team. First down, Virginia.
Joey Blount.
This is exactly what we were talking about with Chris Fink about Bramlett's punts. It really had that knuckleball action coming down, and it died, and he had to move forward at the end to go after it. It was an awkward ball flight. That rolling punt, the rugby punts, it's not the old days of the big spiraling punt that you just run back and catch.
Almost extinct. He almost, if he would be able to clutch it, had a knee down, could have been stopped there, but he couldn't. Lost it. His Virginia ball. 3rd time they take over from the midfield stripe in. Can they do something with it this time? Perkins spinning, and he will get 3 yards. Jeremiah Usu-Koromoa and Alohi Gilman on the tackle for the Irish. Chris Fink, he was a walk-on, was elected captain. His Notre Dame team had to fill a role on the outside as opposed to his slot receiver spot when Michael Young was hurt, and has been a 3-year punt return man for Notre Dame. And they with a bit of wind there, that was into the wind, hung up there, and he could not secure it. Second and 7, Taulapapa and stop. Good pursuit and penetration, I should say, by Heinisch to allow Adi Ogundeji to make the stop and force 3rd down.
No doubt it was 41 Heinisch that made this play in the middle. He kind of slips through, penetrates, blows the play up in the backfield. Right now, Notre Dame's playing fast up front, and they're beating one-on-one matchups. They're winning the one-on-one matchups.
Virginia had about a play a yard in this second half. 3rd and 9. pressured, in trouble. Perkins fires, caught. Forward progress will be marked at the 31. It was shy of the 31. He needs to get to the 31. It's going to be marked at the 32-yard line. That's a yard short of the line to gain for Terrell Jana.
Just an absolutely amazing throw. Notre Dame brings pressure, so it's man coverage. This ball's in the air already because he's getting hit. He actually caught the ball ahead of the line, but lands behind it without being contacted.
Terry McCauley gives us the thumbs up on the mark. Virginia will shoot the 49-yard into the wind field goal opportunity. They'll go for it on 4th and a yard. Perkins will take off. No, throw. He threw it wide. It was high. Reed was covered. The pass was incomplete. And the Virginia Cavaliers have had the ball from midfield or in 3 times in this half. And they have nothing. In primetime here on NBC, Liam, USC Washington, the only other meeting of ranked teams today. Matt Fink, the 3rd quarterback for SC. Ian Book, back to pass, put it up top, back shoulder, flag down. Claypool couldn't bring it down, but Nick Grant grabbed him along the way.
Holding. Defense. Number 1. 10-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
This is what I thought Notre Dame might do a little earlier. They went max protect, blocked everything up, did a double move on the outside, and put the ball up. Claypool tried, put it up, 50-50 ball with your corner. Claypool was going to make a play on the ball, but he gets his arm grabbed and gets the penalty.
6 penalty on Virginia, 4 of them on the Cavs defense. 42, just a yard, maybe 2 yards total for Jameer Smith. Charles Snowden in on the tackle. We talked to Snowden this week. What a kid. A basketball player. Didn't play football until his junior year of high school. 6'7". Man, does he look the part.
And just a great kid. We saw him walking in and out of the locker room, right? And it's like, he couldn't be a nicer kid. That was genuine, and he's towering over me, of course.
From the 43. Here's Smith running inside to the 47. I was right there with you, Doug. Yeah, 6'7", gone from the basketball to not just a football career, but also a great impact life as well. There is the
I got him.
difference. You got him.
I got him.
You're not going to post him up.
No, I got to get him out in space, and he's got the long. I wanted you to. He just throw me in the right field.
The teammates call him Mr. President. They say he's one of those kind of guys where he could be a future president. He is part of a social justice campaign on campus, in addition to his National Defensive Player of the Week award last week, a great community citizen as well. 3rd down, Book fires, it's short of the sticks, and Fink catches, but a yard short of the 1st down, so Nick Grant, with a penalty earlier in this drive, stops it. Let's see what Brian Kelly does here. It's 4th and 1 at your own 49, up 4 with 3:40 to go, and they will punt it away.
Boy, they had man-to-man coverage all over the field. It's blitz with a maximum protection, so you blocked it up. Would have liked to have seen him take a shot at Claypool in the corner out there. He knew the down and distance. Ian Book thought he would get the 1st down with the short ball. Comes up a yard short.
It's funny, in the old days you wouldn't think twice about 4th and 1, but because of all the analytics, so many people go for it on 4th down and short now. But also flow of the game. This will flip the field if Notre Dame successfully punts. And whatever will happen, and looks like it'll be from 5 yards farther back.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
They were worried after the spring game about the punter. And Bramlett was a little shaky. He was a high school quarterback from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, came in here to punt. But boy, did he do a lot of good work in the summer with Brian Polian, the special teams coordinator, and with this special teams unit in summer camp. He's been a big factor in a positive way for the Irish thus far this year. A fair caught at the 20-yard line. Not his best. 34 there as Billy Kemp with the catch. Above the Rest is brought to you by Jersey Mike's Subs. Let's look at that Irish defense stuff.
I'll tell you what, it's turned on. Julian Okwara has had a slow start to the season, but he's starting to assert himself and get after it. You're getting the push from the front, especially in the second half as they simplified the defense and turned these guys loose. Just a push on the pocket. It's Heinisch, it's Okwara, it's Khalid Kareem. Play of the day was a strip sack by Jameer And Jameer Jones, I'm sorry, and then taken off by Tango Villa-Hermosa. So, I mean, it's the pressure that is coming from a standard four-man rush that has changed this game.
Equals the worst starting field position of the day.
Timeout, Virginia.
For Virginia, and they have to truly burn a timeout here.
Timeout.
We're back in 30 seconds. If you're flipping around between games, Virginia had a 3-point lead at halftime. Pooch kick, they stole a possession from the Irish, got the ball at midfield, punted. Got it to Notre Dame 38, fumble. Started back in their own end, 3 and out. Then got it back after a muff punt at the Notre Dame 41 and couldn't convert on 4th down. It has been a poor offensive quarter. They go inside to Joe Reed, try to mess up the Irish defensively, and gain 3 to the 24-yard line with Troy Pride Jr. on the stop.
They lined Reed up in the backfield that time, and they run the counter with him. They run the wide receiver screens with him. They send them on go routes. He runs option runs.
This has been a year in college football without many significant upsets. The top 5 has been clean so far. But Clemson, the obvious power in the ACC, where Virginia is the best team on the other side of the conference, in a fight in Chapel Hill against North Carolina. 14-all in the 4th. Taulapapa carries the pile. And the first down for Wayne Taulapapa, the sophomore.
Line up in a 2-back set, hammered the football. A little surprised because, as we said early, Virginia really doesn't have a natural run game. Their run game is give it to Taulapapa once in a while, but quarterback runs. And now that Notre Dame has gone to kind of a standard clip, there's a better chance of Perkins maybe escaping and taking off on one of those long runs.
It's pressured, got him again, Aquara knocked it out. It is picked up and scooped by Eddie Ogundeji. Touchdown. For the moment, we'll see if he was down before the ball came out. But Notre Dame's defensive pressure does it again. A 24-yard return if it stands.
Julian Aquara came all the way around the edge. He has really asserted himself in this second half.
Let's watch his bottom. This is bottom on the ground. The knee, it's the left knee.
I believe the ball is out.
It's going to be a long and a close review. Left shin, left knee. Is the ball moving before that comes out? And Terry McCauley's going to watch this with us here.
Mike, it has to be indisputable video evidence that he's down in complete control of the football. I don't see it here.
Yeah.
I think it does look like it's just starting to move. As he's hitting or just before, I can't see this getting reversed.
Terry, this will also be interesting too, because as Aquara, who's been terrific in this game, comes off the edge, as that left shin comes out, as that ball starts to move, it starts to come down his arm. When you piece the angles together, see how it's coming down his arm? When is it deemed loose and out of his control? And is there a definitive shot that shows that it's loose and out of his control with the shin down? This may be the best look at it.
Well, there's certainly no shot that we've seen yet with him in control on the ground. So at a minimum, it's going to stand.
And the hard part here is on that play, Aquara is almost hovering where the ball is to see as it's coming out. And by that point, the ball had started to move and came down. That's when the shin completely comes down. So if you use that as evidence, let's do one other look. Great looks at it here, guys. Kind of start to piece evidence together.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Fumble, touchdown, Notre Dame.
And so the Irish score. Their defense has flipped this game with their sack and turnover game. That is 3 turnovers for Notre Dame. And 7 sacks on the game for the Irish. It's Virginia that has had a 6 and a 7 sack game this year. A knuckler by Dorr is not through, and that group has got it done. The front line for Notre Dame, Clark Lee's defense making a flip, and it's been 11 years since the Irish have been this kind of a sack party, and we still have 16-41 in football to play.
Having the confidence in your guys to make a change at halftime There's Acquire. He's had a night. The entire defensive line has changed this game. I mean, the speed at defensive end, we've known about that. The inside rush and pressures, but basically 2 touchdowns credited to the defense that has changed this game.
You mentioned Julian Okwara. We had told you in 3 games, the big sack man for Notre Dame last year had only 3 tackles. We're talking about syncing up the look, stitching replays together. Here is a look timed properly and exactly at the contact when the ball comes out. It is moving as his leg comes down, and again without clear and definitive, as Terry said, you're going to stick with the, I was kind of surprised it said confirmed and not stands, but the result does not change. The lead is 11. Man, Doug, football's great. You love talking about this all the time. Momentum, momentum, momentum. And you were dialed in that the momentum had flipped. Virginia came out and stole the momentum with that kickoff to start the 3rd quarter. And on the field, Notre Dame has wrestled that momentum back.
Absolutely. Notre Dame was on their heels. They even got pinned deep. But the fumble, the strip sack fumble return, all of a sudden the energy level goes through the roof. It was an easy 2 runs and the ball was in the end zone, which we hadn't seen earlier in the game. Everything was a struggle running the football. All of a sudden the run, 6 to 8 yards at a crack. So it's just a confidence and a belief that something good is going to happen.
And Julian Okwara, a 3-sack performance here today. Back to the air, Perkins in trouble. He goes down for the 8th time. That's Khalid Kareem. And one thing you looked at, Chris Sims looked at, these tackles can't hold up for Virginia against the Irish, and that is what's killing Virginia right now.
Absolutely. The quality of defensive end speed is beating these tackles both sides. And what's going on is it's basic coverage now, so he's holding the ball longer. It's taking guys longer to get open, so he's holding the ball longer than he was earlier in the game versus man coverage, allowing the defensive line to get there.
And they've popped Ryan Nelson, a sophomore who was playing left guard earlier, out to right tackle, 54, so they've moved up front. We don't have any answers. This pass is complete. Hassis Dubois with the catch. That's first down, or that's to the 26. It'll be 3rd and 9. Here's Catherine Tappan.
Well, Mike, this defense is suffocating right now and quite electric on the sidelines as well. The coaches and the players are going down to the D-line huddle to congratulate Ogundeje on that touchdown. Jalen Elliott, a very serious tone, came over and said, hey, we are a 4-quarter team. Let's go. So as excited as they are highly focused here, Mike.
And this crowd has responded in kind. 3rd and 9. Pressure comes. Throwing behind it to Kemp. Wrapped up. Brought down. The Irish with another 3 and out. That is the freshman Kyle Hamilton, the safety from Atlanta. And this Notre Dame defense has shut down the Cavs in this 2nd half. Notre Dame's defense writes the story of the 3rd. The Irish lead 28-17. We're back at Notre Dame Stadium after these messages from your NBC station. You're watching Notre Dame football on NBC. In the right direction in Chapel Hill. Great to see.
Go for 2, man. Go score, go for 2. Go for the win now.
Those kids lack belief, and Mac Brown's really put it in them. A little pressure from Virginia to start first down. Sibo Flemister runs to the 25-yard line. Chris Sims, I'll bring you in on the field. We're watching a Notre Dame offense that didn't do much with it. It's a couple of opportunities there in the 3rd quarter. We're up 11, but this is a very important quarter for them.
Yeah, no, and this is big. This is where the 2 tight ends sets in right now, Mike. We got Tremble, we got Cole Kmet, and we got Flemister. Let's run the ball. Let's work on this. I think this is an added element they need on their football team.
Well, that is deflected, and it is nearly intercepted as it bounced off a couple of sets of hands. Famuli was there. Bernie was there. That's a couple of times that little short pass to Book couldn't get there, and Aaron Banks' big body helped get in the way.
There's some big, long arms. Tip of this ball. Now you're just hoping as a quarterback this thing get great job by Banks smacking it to the ground.
After Famui tipped it, I couldn't tell if it hit off his shoulders or it was his hands, and Banks got rid of it. Aaron Banks, the junior from Alameda, California, starting left guard. 3rd and 6 for the Irish. Book pressured up the middle and is sacked Handback, walk back, Banks. Eli Handback with his second sack of the season, and the Irish go 3 and out. And we continue to have a half with no first downs either way.
Handback just gets where we are. Banks on the left guard gets him on roller skates and just pushes him back into the quarterback, and then reaches out and holds on the beam book with one arm.
Eli Handback, a 4-year starter in that rotation up front, comes up with the play, and now Bramlett will kick it away for the Irish. Good one, 45 yards. Kemp caught it at the 38, reverses field, seeks space, returns it about 8 or 9 yards as he's finally brought down. But once again, good field position for Virginia. A little scrappy at the bottom of the pile. We step out, buck and a half into the fourth. Irish lead by 11. See if the Hoos can get closer. Quite a place, quite a scene. Every Saturday, always our pleasure to spend 7 of our summer and autumn Saturdays at the house that Rockney built. Started playing ball here 90 years ago. What can Virginia do in good field position? They've done nothing this entire half. I mean, nothing. No first down. From the 47, Perkins with time, taking a shot downfield for his man, Joe Reed. Incomplete. Troy Pride in on the coverage. It was man-to-man, and Pride was the man there.
All the way, one-on-one. Best defensive back on the field for Notre Dame against the best receiver for Virginia. Reed, great coverage, but he makes an effort to go up on high point this ball. Pride does get a hand, a little push off, back and forth, nothing major. Almost comes up with the ball. You could see right away that he was out there isolated one-on-one, and the rotation of the coverage went away. You knew the ball was going to Reed.
Well, with us opposite corner, Sean Crawford was hurt. Tariq Gracie has played most of the corner snaps to the wide sides of the field in this second half since the injury. The quarterback runs, Perkins gets 1, maybe 2 before Drew White comes in for that middle linebacker
As
spot.
impressive as Notre Dame's defense has been over the last quarter or so and created the momentum, Virginia has been a fourth quarter team all year long. Come back 3 different times, as much as a 17-point deficit. They're not going to go away.
There are the numbers. It's the Panthers, the Seminoles, and the Monarchs in Charlottesville a week ago tonight. 3rd and 9. Irish have a half dozen DBs on the field. Perkins, look out from behind, and as he throws, it's intercepted. Alohi Gilman, one of the 3 safeties on the field, comes up with the turnover, the 4th for Notre Dame here today.
Jameer Jones again is the guy with the pressure coming around the outside. Loops around, comes in the backside. The ball's thrown in what is a very tight coverage, which we refer to as 2 deep man under. It's man-to-man coverage, but you have deep help. So Gilman stays underneath the receiver and does an amazing job of getting his head around and finding the football.
4 turnovers, 8 sacks. Irish defense today. Timeout. Biggest clubs. Manchester United hosting Arsenal. Everybody's got to get going. Liverpool wins again today. They're undefeated 7-0-0. City won right before us on NBC, so no room for error for those 2 proud sides. You'll see it Monday in the afternoon on NBCSN. Irish take over at the 29, up 11 after the Gilman interception. It's a run for Tony Jones Jr. to the 33-yard line. Notre Dame, first of 3 consecutive home games. Bowling Green, which is having a poor season, to say the least. And here next Sunday, USC in primetime the week after that. And the Irish have an off week before Michigan. But this was a bounce-back game after Georgia. Brian Kelly's defense has gotten it done. Now the offense needs to sustain some clock and keep the ball. Here is Jones on the edge. Tony Jones into Virginia territory, and a first down at the 40-yard line. It's one of the bigger runs of the day and of the season for Jones. 25 on the carry.
Notre Dame's going to a 2 tight end package, and you basically go check with me and run away from the extra defender. You run a balanced front, let them line up, declare strength, run the ball the other way. They run to the left, 1 man short.
Back on it at the 40. And play action. Book spins out of there. We'll keep it, and we'll get out of bounds, gaining about a yard to the 39-yard line. Noah Taylor shown to the sideline. The Bowling Green game's next Saturday. I think I said next Sunday. If I'm here next Sunday,
NFL people, I don't know.
I'll be here by myself. Lance Taylor's the new running backs coach at Notre Dame. Autry Denson, all-time leading rusher in Irish history, was here, and Catherine Tappan. It's a new face in the running back room in terms of a coach.
It is, and the players love him. I've spoken to a number of them just speaking high praise about his work ethic and his attention to detail. But he told me the #1 reason that he came to Notre Dame from Stanford is because the Irish are still hungry to win. He said this is a team that went to the college football playoff semifinal and isn't satisfied, Mike. 2nd and 7, Book to throw again here, tapped, sideline, and it's Claypool on that ginger left ankle. You can see he didn't want to come down very hard on it. He caught it. It's at the 30. That's a chain mover and a first down. But to continue Catherine's point, as Autry Denson went to Charleston Southern to be a head coach, Catherine, you try to find a guy who's going to be a fit in that room, and it's a guy with terrific experience, which we'll detail in a second, who has come in here to this Notre Dame coaching staff. Coaching Tony Jones Jr., who is housebound. Touchdown Notre Dame. And the running backs lead the way.
Again, Notre Dame has gone to a 2 tight end package, which the run game is really starting to light up. There's Komet 84, seals it, kick out by Tremble, the other tight end 24. Here's Komet coming down, seals it with a kick out by his buddy, his other tight end, Tommy Tremble.
Liam Eichenberg was out there leading the way for the 30-yard score, the 3rd for Tony Jones Jr. And those running backs who were asked to step up their play have done so here today. And credit to Lance Taylor's group, as a tight game has gotten comfortable for the Irish, who lead by 18. Tony Jones Jr. had a couple of big ceiling runs last year, including the game that closed the key undefeated regular season at Southern California. Gets one here from 30 yards out, his 3rd of the game, and his coach Lance Taylor seeing those running backs have run up the lead for Notre Dame to 18. Cast is ready to roll. All new SNL from New York tonight here on NBC.
So you go to school to be funny?
Obviously, that's what we were missing. Touchback, Virginia will take over at the 25. Let's talk about Julian Okwara and the terrific day that he has had, the captain of the Irish.
Unbelievable. He had a slow start to the season, only 3 tackles. Here he slow plays it and then gets after the quarterback. He's possessed today. He's just getting after it. Great awareness to strip the ball. His speed and his quickness around the corner, Chris.
Got a great first step, got great hands, and Clark Lee deserves a lot of credit. Going to more zone defenses in the second half. Now the quarterback doesn't have, there's pressure, there's a man-to-man matchup, I can throw it. He's been patting the ball in extra time, and now the rush is getting there, guys.
3 tackles in his first 3 games, 3 sacks and 2 FFs here today. 18-point hole. Perkins' pass is complete to the sidelines. Chapman, gain of 9. Tariq Bracy on the coverage. You know who's enjoying watching Julian Okwara. Guy's about a 2-hour, 45-minute, maybe 3-hour drive from here right now. His brother Romeo plays for the Detroit Lions. Lions will play the Chiefs in a big game tomorrow up at Ford Field in Detroit. But Irish legacy continues. The Okwaras and Julian sensational here in helping flip the game. Virginia, possession 7 of the second half. Looking for first down, number 1. Don't have it yet. That pass was incomplete. Chapman again, the intended receiver. He slips and falls, but the field turf is incredibly dry considering what happened here yesterday. From about 2 o'clock until about 3 a.m. in the morning, we had over 3.5 inches of rain. It was torrential. If that would have happened today, we would not have played the game because it was the all-time lightning storm that came through. But this is what it looked like here at the stadium as well, over by sections 29 and 30. Most of the high school games in the area had to be moved to today. But very thankful that the weather was yesterday and not today. 3rd and 1, and they finally have a first down in this second half after 6 possessions without, as it turned out to the 40.
I just picture what this field would have looked like had it been the old grass field.
Yeah.
The old grass field was a little soft and muddy as is.
Right, that's true.
It's slow turf. This is today's game played on the artificial turf and fast.
This year 6 of the field turf here at Notre Dame Stadium. 9:29, 18-point game. Virginia in desperate need of some points. Off the edge of Quara again. That time he doesn't get there. And the pass is caught by Asserts Dubois. He's had a good afternoon for the Cavaliers.
Again, Aquara getting after it around the edge, and this is just pure speed, beating his man around the edge. Watch Perkins drift to his left, though, to get away from it. Just a couple of steps bought him enough time to get this throw off. And I'm telling you, these receivers go up and catch the ball in their hands.
Midfield, Billy Kemp, the 4th in cutting routes. So you think, well, why is it taking Notre Dame's defensive ends, which is a strength of this team, to have such an impact? Well, the Louisville game, the style was a little different. The New Mexico game was so one-sided. And that Georgia offensive line is sensational. So many good players.
They're finally getting a quarterback to hang on the ball. Coverage is dictating in zone coverage, making him hold on the ball a little bit, and they're getting after it. They got an extra second to get to the quarterback. Now he's getting back to some of the quick throws, and they're moving on the perimeter, trying to do some things to take some pressure off their offensive line.
Catch 7 of the game for Dubois is 117 yards. And he's one shy of 100 in his Virginia career. Notre Dame freshened the pass rush. Dubois got another catch, got out of the Gilman tackle. Worked the sideline before he's pushed out of bounds by Bilal at the 25-yard line.
Going into this game, I really thought Bryce Perkins was an athlete at the quarterback position, just going to run around and make plays. He's recognizing a corner blitz there, getting rid of the ball hot, hitting his receiver. He's made some throws tonight that have been very impressive.
Thrown it 38 times for over 300 yards. Twisting 4-man rush. He'll fire sideline again. Dubois. You said it, Doug. Hands, sensational. First down at the 10.
Strong hands, go up, reach away. They're still getting hit on the arm. There's a perfect back shoulder throw. In his hands, gets the foot down.
Beautiful.
The guy I had was Eric Moulds in Buffalo that I thought was the strongest with his hands and his forearms and catching a ball away from his body.
First and goal for Virginia. 7.5 remaining. As we welcome those of you who watched Clemson survive North Carolina. Clemson won 21-20. The top team on their half of the ACC. The team picked for the top of the ACC, Coastal Virginia, had the lead at the half, trying to get their first points of the second half. That pass is incomplete. Intended for Tavares Kelly Jr. It was 17-14 Virginia at the break. And Bronco Mendenhall's team had great momentum chances. A possession that they got on a hooch/onside kick to start the second half at midfield. Couldn't do anything with it. Then got the ball on a muffed punt at the Notre Dame 38. Brian Kelly's defense has been the story in the second half. They've sacked the Virginia quarterback 8 times, so the Irish have run up 21 in a row. Second and goal. End zone shot. Reed couldn't get there.
Great release by Reed. He's one-on-one in the slot with Dante Vaughn. Slips Vaughn and goes to the corner. If Perkins just held the ball a fraction of a second and made sure that, he's trying to anticipate the throw because he's gotten so much pressure tonight. Just out of the reach. This time Reed's all the way to the wide side of the field.
Most of the fans down at this end standing, making noise. They run it inside with Taro Lapapo. Jameer Jones had an excellent game. Dalen Hayes, a shoulder injury. Julian Okwara and Khalid Kareem, the starters. Adi Ogundeje has a touchdown on a fumble return. But Jameer Jones out of Rochester, New York, has had a very good game. He's going to force a field goal attempt here, down 18.
The field goal attempt here will cut it to a 2-score game, a 15-point game, so you got to take the points. And with Bryce Perkins at quarterback, they still believe that they can strike quickly.
27 yards for Brian Delaney. And he knocks it through. Cavaliers' first points of this second half. 35-20. Irish up 15.
2017, Mike, where was that game?
That game was at Syracuse, the Carrier Dome. Thank you, Liam. Kickoff will go all the way back and be a touchback here. Credit to Mac Brown. See what a great effort there in Chapel Hill. It's tough to get a two-point conversion, run into the field to the wide side against those freak athletes and their speed for Clemson. So Clemson's on the other side of the ACC. Virginia does not play them in a crossover. They have division conference wins over Pittsburgh and Florida State. We go to Miami. They're trying to find their sea legs under Manny Diaz, who's going to build something good there. Duke at Louisville. They'll go to Chapel Hill. Georgia Tech out of the league for Liberty. And then what's been the nemesis for them, the annual in-state Commonwealth battle against Virginia Tech. Doug, they have a terrific chance the rest of the way without the mistakes and shoring up the offensive line play to make this a really good season.
It really does look good for him. That North Carolina game now looks even tougher and tougher. Mac Brown's done a heck of a job.
6:28 to go. Virginia chose not to go with the onside kick there, play some defense here, and that is yet another false start.
False start. Number 74, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
On Liam Eichenberg. He's had a couple here after the struggles he had last week against USC. For the Irish, here's what's left after the game at Georgia last week. This one against Virginia. We mentioned 6 of the next 8 at home, the trip to Ann Arbor after the bye week, and then the game at Duke, and then closing out on the farm against Stanford. It's been a tough season for David Shaw's team. They are banged up with injury. And that's a play Notre Dame loves to see. A run for 16 after 1st and 15 as Tony Jones Jr.
Wow.
It's over 100 yards.
The entire left side of the Irish offensive line just drove the line of scrimmage. Watch the line of scrimmage just move. The entire, look at that line move. That's 5 yards upfield before contact.
Eichenberg flagged a play before. Banks leading the way. Drive blocking is something that you think this Notre Dame offense would be better at. They have not been to this point. But escapability here by Jones as he gets to the edge. Only issue there is going out of bounds to kill the clock for the moment at the 40-yard line. You know, Chris Sims and Doug, we were talking about the power run game for Notre Dame. Chris, we haven't seen it to this point. This is a little bit of what you thought you'd see earlier in the season.
I definitely did, and this is a great time to work on it. Cole Kmet being back in the lineup. Let's pull some guards. Let's do this. It's not about today. It's about future opponents. It's just going to make life easier for this offense.
Tommy Tremble, the second tight end in there. That time Eichenberg got knocked on his back. There's no hole to open as Jones is stopped. There is a penalty flag down.
When you see that wall of offensive linemen pushing like that, that's a zone play. That's a shoulder-to-shoulder, pushing the line of scrimmage, taking your man. Notre Dame is also very good. They came back, followed up with pulling guards, and what is basically you're down and around. You're pinning a guy and pulling
Holding.
a guy.
Number 55 offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
Mendenhall had to make a choice there. They decided to push it back. Jared Patterson, the center, guilty of the infraction there. You talk about the multiple ways they block, zone blocking and man blocking. Do you see as much man blocking as you used to in college football?
Really not. You know, there's a little more of the pin and pull and come around, and the guys are moving for here, but it's the zone man blocking, yes.
Book looking to throw it here and just gets rid of it. He's in the pocket. Is there a receiver over there? Or will he be ruled in the tackle box or not? My initial guess is that's intentional grounding, depending on where they determine the tackle box was. Hemmed in that pocket by the rush. There was no receiver on that side. It did get past the line of scrimmage. And now the flag is thrown.
Intentional grounding. Number 12, offense. Loss of down, the spot of the foul. Third down.
See where Eichenberg 74 was. Steps to the left. And it's right at that hairy edge of is it in the tackle box? Now, Terry McCauley, you're a referee. You spent your life back there looking at that. What do you do to determine the landmarks for in the tackle box or not?
You generally try to figure out, Mike, how far he's moved, because we don't have lines or anything like that. It's generally a general idea you have before the snap, and you don't know exactly, but when he's right on the edge like that, you usually give him the benefit of the doubt.
Looked like he was going to take off, flips it instead to Cole Kmet, and the tight end keeps going. Strength in numbers there. On third and about 22, took it very close to the first down. He's going to be shy of it at the 44-yard line.
It's being a basketball player. Draw the defender's tee, move, draw the defender tee, and then flip it over his head. Kmet, what an addition, getting back, getting healthy.
Timeout. Injured Virginia player, number 1.
So Nick Graham was deemed injured, and he's jogging off to the sideline.
Initially, he's covered, right? Gam's underneath it, but then when Book started up, Gam comes forward, dump it over his head, and make a play.
Carries him forward. You see why the officials blew the play for Grant. He went down there right away. Looked like he was
timeout.
In pain.
Virginia.
Now Virginia's going to choose to use a timeout
of the half
to maintain some clock here with 4:54 to go.
30-second timeout.
But you're right about having Kmet back so strong. We had a chance to visit with him. He's a terrific baseball player. Good enough that many think he'll get drafted in baseball. So you usually like to ask a guy, and he has pitched for the Irish during his first couple of years, and is like a nasty, big, tall lefty, starter and reliever.
He likes his slider down and in.
Does he?
He loves his slider. That's his go-to. That's his out pitch.
And a hitter, too. He got some pop in that bat. He had 443, 12 homers, 46 RBIs, and 18 doubles in high school his last season, Chris.
Don't look at the score, though.
Well, yeah, forget the score there for a minute. Notre Dame's baseball program working around. But Chris, multi-sport athlete. I love when we asked him where his heart was. He said depends on the season.
Well, yeah, he answered that very politically correct for sure. But he adds another element to the offense that we saw last week. It's just not only with the run game, but as we talked about yesterday, guys, what do you do as a defense with Claypool and Kmet on the field at the same time? When one's hot, okay, you double that guy, but then there's the other guy with a favorable matchup.
And that's the beauty of having two guys like that take advantage of it. It's a tremendous tight end tradition, as you know, whether it's recently Fasano, Carlson, Kyle Rudolph, who still comes back and works with the guys. So does Tyler Eifert. Matter of fact, Kmet talked about his connection with Rudolph and Eifert. And it was Brian Kelly who said that it's a great combination of those two guys at the end, Doug, that he sees in Cole Kmet.
He's got the speed to get downfield and up the seams, and then the strength. He's brought another dimension, no doubt about it. He can balance the field. As Chris said, you put Claypool on one side, Kmet on the other. You can't double everybody.
Two-score game, one big play gives Virginia a shot. Perkins' first down pass is caught. Moved it down effectively on the last drive. Let's start with Joe Reed for 11 here. For Reed, it's catch 9 on the game. Both he and Dubois have 9 receptions. 4.5, one timeout. Virginia's got to go.
Only 4.5, but Bryce Perkins scares me. He really does. The way he can move around, and he's throwing the ball great.
Some underneath stuff to move down the field. He's flushed here. Perkins looking to take off. Nice block by his tight end Cowley to save a hit and save some time as Perkins got out of bounds.
He's just under control. I know he's put the ball on the ground a couple times in strip sacks, but Bryce Perkins moving in the pocket. He had a 2-point conversion against Florida State where he dances into the end zone just kind of casually. He is under control out on that field, and today he's been very impressive throwing the football.
42 pass attempts for Perkins on the day. The Irish hinting at pressure. They back out. Drop 7 in coverage. Perkins slings it in there, and Kyle Hamilton, the freshman, comes up with his second interception. This kid is the all-time nose for the ball guy. He did it almost every day during summer camp. On his very first snap in Notre Dame Stadium, he had a pick 6 against New Mexico.
Unbelievable awareness. He's up in here. He's going to drop out. He's going to drop out, and he's looking for work. He sees it to the middle of the field, reacts to the eyes of the quarterback and the throw, and breaks on it. He has a knack for the football. He sees the field. His initial drop was weak side. He had no work weak side, no receiver in his area. He looked back to the field and found it.
And it's a 5 turnover, 8-sack performance from Clark Lee's defense here this afternoon. Notre Dame has scored 4 touchdowns so far off those Virginia turnovers. So if they score here, they'll make it 5 for 5. Michael Young will come around on the jet and get a couple of yards. 6'4" freshman safety, and Kyle Hamilton, every time they put a little more on his plate, he eats it up.
I bumped into his mom on the airplane after the last game on the way home, and she's like, I couldn't believe he got the interception, blah, 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 blah. She used to offer him incentive money in high school for interceptions, pick sixes, and all that. And she says, well, what are we going to do for your college? He says, well, got to up the ante a little bit. It's going to be much more difficult in college. It's going to be a lot tougher. First play on the field, pick six.
So do we know what mom's paying yet? We got to find that out.
We got to find out what the payment is.
As the season goes on. There, Clark Lee's defense, 4 sacks in the first 3 games. Again, the opponents were a little bit of a factor in that. 8 takeaways, but a big show today. And when they needed it too, Doug, down 17-14 in the third quarter. Momentum against them at midfield. That first snap, that first series in this quarter, they came up with the stop. And then a couple of series later, the Tagovailoa Amosa. Big return after Jameer Jones had the sack. Third and 6, and the run for Jones with the first down. Big day for Tony Jones Jr. At 17 to the total, 132 for the game.
Not a lot of fullbacks in football anymore. So you go to the 2 tight end package and you use your second tight end like a fullback, and you've got your 2 back runs. And they found success with the 2 tight ends. You can balance the field and run away from the extra guy, or bring both tight ends to the same side, which creates a fullback situation, and run your power football.
132, also a career high for Jones. One of the pieces that has been missing so far from the Irish. He'll have a no game there. Hey, before we get out of here, as the clock runs down here, a big hello to one of the good people who really is connected to both universities, Gene Corrigan, who was the athletic director at Virginia for a decade, then here at Notre Dame from 81 to 87, a distinguished run as the ACC commissioner. My son Kevin is the lacrosse coach, very successful lacrosse coach here at Notre Dame, but a lot of time and a lot of love for this place. For Gene, who's back home in Charlottesville, and we send him our absolute best. I worked with Gene's son Tim for many years. There is no finer person in college athletics than Gene Corrigan over the years, and our time spent around him was great. And thinking of you, Mr. C, and just want to send our very best to you.
The other aspect is go back to the New Mexico game. Bob Davie back on the field.
That's right. Today.
Coaching for New Mexico. Good to see that.
That's their third and final timeout.
New Mexico beat New Mexico State in their Rio Grande rivalry. The former Notre Dame coach is taking on Liberty today down in Virginia. So we wish Bob the best. He's back on the sideline after his medical issue started the season. All right, give me the big picture here, Doug. 35-20 Notre Dame. Not pretty at times, but a good opponent against Virginia. What do you walk away thinking?
Resiliency. I'll tell you, the offense struggled. Defense picked them up and made the plays. This defensive line for Notre Dame can change a game. They changed it today, created the turnovers that changed the momentum of this game and maybe momentum of the season for Notre Dame. Offensively, the 2 tight end package, starting to run the football against a good defense, against a good football team, a ranked football team in Virginia.
Yeah, a lot of people did talk about the strength of this Virginia team being their defense and Bryce Perkins, and Notre Dame able to handle that test. And we don't know, because we don't know what teams are going to look like over the next 6-7 weeks. This could be the best team Notre Dame faces the rest of the way. Michigan beat Rutgers. Is that the opponent, or is Notre Dame or Michigan finding what they have? USC will come in here in a couple of weeks off their loss in Seattle to Washington. Those are the significant games out there for the Irish here the rest of the way, as the teams at the back end of this schedule. I know Navy has played well. Duke will be at Duke, and the Blue Devils played okay, but Virginia Tech not playing well. BC was struggling earlier today. Stanford's been beat up. And Brian Kelly knows it, and everybody around here knows it. There are no rooms for foul balls, no room for foul balls anymore here. You've got to win them all to get back to the college football playoff. And that will impact how good the loss at Georgia looks. Long season, lot to play out. 4th and 2, Book will keep it. He'll get the first down and put this one in the books for the Irish. It will end up 35-20. Ian Book, 17-25, did not throw a touchdown pass in this game. Tony Jones Jr. was the rushing star. But the story of the day for the Irish, their defense, 5 turnovers, 8 sacks. They stopped the momentum when they needed to in the 3rd quarter. And the Fighting Irish win at home again, their 13th consecutive home win. And Virginia will drop to 4-1, their first loss on the season. And the Cavaliers still have never beaten a top 10 team on the road, 0-25.
Thank you for the help with the
Here's Catherine Tappan.
Coach, down 3 at the half. You guys managed a massive turnaround. What impressed you most about this win today?
I just think, you know, we wanted to be determined to play 4 quarters and play physical. We felt like if we just stayed the course at halftime, came out and played physical in the second half, that we would turn things around, and that's what we did. We didn't get frustrated, although we wanted to. We stayed patient, stayed persistent, which has been our kind of watchwords for this season, and it started to turn for us. Our defense obviously came up with some great plays. We were able to run the ball effectively, and we were timely with some big runs.
You told us this game today and the outcome of this game would define the season going forward for the Irish, so what did this game teach you?
That we're a physical team, that we play really hard. We've got a big play defense, and then we're still evolving on offense. We left a lot of plays out here that we've got to get better on offense to match what our defense is doing. If we can make some plays offensively that our defense are making, this can be a special group.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mike?
All right, Catherine, thank you. We'll see you Wednesday night for the start of hockey season, Catherine, on NBCSN. You can see Brian Kelly's full press conference right now at NBCSports.com. Actually, not now. It starts. See you next Saturday, Notre Dame Bowling Green. 3:30 Eastern right here on your NBC station. Saturday Night Live, season premiere coming up in a few hours. Woody Harrelson and Billie Eilish. That is live, coast to coast. For our entire Notre Dame on NBC team, with our producer Rob Hyland, director Pierre Musa, Mike Tirico, Doug Flutie, Liam McHugh, Chris Sims, Terry McCauley, Catherine Tappan. Good night from South Bend.